Has the button ever clicked?
It should have been, yeah. All right, we
Whoops.
should be live.
I shouldn't be in Rifts. I should be in Three Galaxies.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I open my window. I'm staring at statues, and I'm like, no, that's not right. All right.
Well,
Okay, I'm excited. I actually have a question real quick for Inferno, out of character.
Okay.
Did Xavier ever attempt to use technology when he went to Palladium?
Well, that depends. I'm assuming when he was originally there to retrieve the bracelet in question, I'm assuming the merchant who hired him was smart enough to let him know about the situation down there. And if so, then Xavier would have hidden his ship, his little crappy little ship, and tried to blend in with the locals. Because, trying to get information, trying to, gain the trust of people isn't going to be helpful if you're some weirdo with this weird ass technology that no one trusts or likes.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. So
I
unless you can come up for some reason in the story where Xavier would have been tricked or not given enough information, then he would have attempted it, realized it was a bad idea, and then never did it again.
No. I think that what you said is more than fair. I ask because I've been reading up a lot on it and stuff like that, and I'm trying to establish what Xavier reasonably knows. And I think that everything you said makes perfect sense. He would not have been sent without forewarned knowledge. First thing, so I'll let you character, and this is for I don't mind you guys hearing because you guys have proven that you don't like to metagame, so that's more than fine. First things first, your character would know that you didn't get there by ship. You probably used one of the portals from center. Because electricity and all devices that use electricity does not work correctly on that planet.
Oh, well then there you go then.
Also, and while Xavier probably wouldn't know the scientific details of this, you could certainly be learned if chosen. But also, weapons don't work quite the same way. Something about gases, probably don't know the details per se, but plasma guns, regular bullets, for some reason they don't work properly. As I said, I'm just telling you what Xavier would know. It's up to them if you wanted to look into that more or not.
All right.
I say this for no reason whatsoever, except that maybe you guys are headed there because you want to take Susanna home. That said, hello everyone. Welcome back to Three Galaxies. I do apologize for the abruptness of the session last week. I am pleased to inform you my wife is more than fine, a little bruised. Other than that, she is A-okay. An idiot rear-ended her. Scary, but not really damaging. So that is that. Apologize for the quick interruption, but we are back on track. Oh, I should also note that at some point in the next 2 hours or so, my dog is going to go nuts because my wife will come home, and whenever one of us comes home, he goes nuts. So it will happen. It is inevitable. Other than that, any questions of me before we get started, everyone?
No.
Not that I can think of.
Okay. So when last we left, you guys had made a deal with Beatrice to go ahead and that is ideally beneficial for both of you. She will. I don't believe you have given her all of the items yet. You're supposed to meet with her on Frontier Station to make an exchange. She is to give the item to her buyer, the person who sent her on this job, who turns out to be an old friend of yours. I use the term loosely, Vector. And the hope is she gives it, she gets her money, and then you rob him. Thus, you guys don't have to be enemies, and maybe even get the drop on him. You spoke briefly with with Paw,
Aw.
to tell him to try and get information about Vector. Let him know that Vector is operating on his station. See if maybe he can get some information for you. And you also offered to give Beatrice 5 million credits if she can also kind of ask around and get more information, because that is apparently hard to come by on this gentleman at the current time. Am I missing anything?
Nope.
Okay, so we ended last session with basically you guys on your way to Frontier Station. Unless there is something you guys would like to do, I am fine starting once you arrive on Frontier Station. If you guys are.
Sure.
Sure.
Well, there was a scene that was interrupted last week about Xavier wanting to convince Lucas to tell his daughter that she can't go into Frontier Station. But if you want to narratively go, like, not worry about that, that's fine with me. I don't want to bog down this session because we have limited time this session. Gotta leave.
I'm sorry, because what?
Burn
We
has
have
to leave
limited
early,
time.
right?
Yeah, I gotta leave in 3 hours.
Yeah. So we
Right,
have
right.
limited time on the session.
Got it. Then I leave that up to Lucas. Lucas, did you have anything in mind that you would want to roleplay in that regard?
Are you sure I had something at the time? At the moment, I'm feeling very much in the helpful mood, so I think I'm going to try my hardest to just smooth things out as much as my character can do.
Sure. Then I can say it will go fairly smoothly. Susanna, she's a smart girl. She's just a teenager. She knows well and good that she was asked very politely not to return to that station. She doesn't want to cause a fuss, especially when you are this close to getting the bracelet back. She is more than happy to stay on the ship.
Great.
She will, if Lucas is the one to tell her, the only thing she'll say is make sure her dad does not screw it up. Specifically that. Yeah. Other than that, you guys had agreed to meet Beatrice at a predetermined place and time. We left it kind of vague, of course. I am fine. Xavier, you're very familiar with Frontier Station. You can pick, say, one of the bars at your leisure if you would prefer that, or if you guys have other ideas. It's safe to say that you had let Beatrice know.
Okay. I'll need help. Xavier might know a bunch about Frontier Station, but I don't.
Sure.
We've been to literally 2 bars and a couple stores and Pa's office and a hotel. So how about we always hang out in bars. There's no need for that. What other public spaces can you do?
The other
a quick
go-to?
handoff?
Pie shop?
There
Pie shop?
is
No.
there's there are some pie shops. There are several stores. If you're looking for public places, there is a small what you would call like a community park, a part of the station that is artificially terraformed to look like a grassy park. It is a place where people can bring small pets are allowed on the station. It's a place where they can bring the small pets.
Oh, good. So we can bring kid.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good.
No, not Ryle though. Probably too big. But it's also has like a jogging path and benches and places to have picnics. So if you're looking for a more public place, there's that.
Sure.
It's called Frontier
Works
Park.
for me.
Okay.
All right. Frontier Park works.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to bug a tree unless it's a literal bug.
Right. So it takes about 2 days to get to Frontier Station. You guys are to meet Beatrice at the appointed time. We'll say that you get there without a hitch. You land safely, no issues. If someone could remember to mark it off, it is 6,000 credits to dock your ship for an extended stay or however long. I mean, it's per dock, so however long you intend to stay there. I'm sorry, 2,000 credits. I'm looking at my own notes wrong. 2,000 credits to dock the ship as usual. And then who is going to meet Beatrice?
Well, I will for sure.
Okay.
Now we're gonna need to take the necklace off of Rael first because he can't go in the park, and we're not gonna have a giant worm show up out of nowhere.
Right.
So, I think we're relatively safe enough. This is our home turf that it's safe for us to bring the item in question, that blue gem, with us. So, whoever
Okay.
else wants to go, open invitation.
Sure,
Lucas
I'm
will
not
go.
dead here.
Yes,
It's true.
Kid wants to swing. I mean, yeah, there would be a playground at this park for kids that has
Well,
swings. So this
Kid.
is
So the kid's gonna
Yeah.
point at the sign and say, "See, this park is for me." They just spelled it wrong with only one D, and then there you go.
But yes, it does exist. We can say that you chose to meet at one of the benches surrounding the playground.
Great.
All right. So Anna, Xavier, Kid. What about Lucas or Isaac?
I think Lucas said he wanted to go, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Isaac?
Would Hart want to go?
Yes, actually, she would like to go. She heard, I'm sure Xavier talk about this Beatrice lady, and she seems interesting, especially that phase belt. And Hart would love a chance to get a look at one of those phase belts. So she's going to go along.
All right. Isaac will too.
Great.
All right. Perfect. Unless there's any other NPCs you'd like to bring with you, Cyber
No,
6
we
would
don't.
say
We
that's
got 6 people is enough.
Yeah,
for crying out loud.
exactly. Cyber 6 would say it's
What are
on
we,
kind of
Justin
crap.
Bieber with our 20-person entourage? Like, this is
Your
crazy.
entourage walking behind you. Got it. So,
hire one guy just to carry my pizza. Yeah.
so you guys would you would arrive at the park. You would actually get there first. So this would be what would be considered the middle of the day as far as the station cycle is concerned. So the park is not incredibly busy. Most people are either at their jobs or at home. Yes, Xavier.
We didn't discuss who got the thing from Rael. Are we just?
Ah.
It's probably important that someone specifically has it.
Yes. Who would want to be carrying it on them?
Well, I'm
Kid
okay
can
with
keep a
carrying
hold
it
of
on.
it if you want, but otherwise someone else can take it.
Yeah.
They're just
Either
going to be
Kid or
fucking
Isaac.
around on the place.
Well, because you're gonna be fucking around on the playground, then you're probably gonna lose it or trade it to some kid or some crap like that. So.
I resent that, okay?
Well, then prove me. Okay, this is okay. You know, I'm sorry, but and Xavier is going to explain this. This is extremely important. This is extremely important, and maybe it shouldn't go hand to hand with the person who's never been on a swing set before, because if this thing gets and then Xavier's gonna look at Kid and be like, "Fuck it, take it." But I'm gonna tell you one thing: you lose it, you're telling Susanna, and it's not gonna be my fault. It's gonna be entirely your fault, all of it, everything. So if you can take the guilt along with that gem, go nuts.
Kid looks from Xavier to the gem, frowns, just like, well, fine, you hold it.
Thank you, says Xavier as he slips it in his jacket pocket.
A literal guilt trip.
No, literal guilt trip would mean taking your trip along guilt.
Well, yes, okay, correct, but a well done guilt trip.
A
Thank
figurative
you.
guilt trip. Congratulations.
Okay, so yes, that is a fair detail to point out. Xavier will have it in a pocket.
Uh-huh.
It is big enough that it's clear to tell there is an object, unless you're wearing like a
What
really.
if I put it in
coat.
my front pocket?
Oh boy!
Then they can say, "Hey Xavier, is that blue gem in your pocket?" Or you just
Don't
Oh
bring
my
your
God.
friends
Xavier.
by a playground, please.
Hey Xavier, I think you have a tumor on your head.
Oh, man, no.
wait. How big is this thing? How big is this?
It is about the size of a between a baseball and a softball.
So it's pretty big.
Yeah.
Well, we
So
can't
it'd be
have
more like-
softball-sized things in my
I was
pants.
gonna say, it's more like
So-
Xavier. I think you have a tumor.
No.
Have we
But
gotten
it's
that
gonna look
checked
weird
out?
on anybody, right?
Yeah. it
Wait,
is.
no, Xavier says, as he looks to the baggy-ass clothing of Lucas.
Oh my
As he
God.
waves,
god.
as
Here.
his sleeves flop back and forth.
Lucas, come here.
Okay, you're
He
gonna trust
slides
Lucas
over.
over Kid?
No, I'm gonna give him the same. I'm gonna give him the same lecture as Kid. First of all, Kid doesn't have any pockets, right?
Let's
So,
have a
Kid,
bag.
how are you gonna hold on to this thing? Just in your hands?
They were gonna take a bag.
Oh, well, it's hard to make it back.
No, they're just gonna play softball with the softball-sized gem.
I don't know. First of all, you don't know what softball is. Second of all,
That's fair.
well, if you're gonna, okay, that makes sense. You did have a bag in the thingy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I feel bad. So Xavier
No,
says,
no,
"Okay,
it's
go get your
okay.
bag."
No, you want it. You have it, they
Oh
say.
boy. Okay, so this is my comeuppance, says Xavier. Fair enough. All right, Lucas, come here.
He then stands to the other side of you.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, good. All right, Lucas, and he's gonna like hover the big shiny blue gem in front of Lucas's face, and he's gonna say, Lucas,
Yeah.
this is 15 years of my life coming to a head. Susanna's hopes and dreams, my tumultuous affair with an enchantress, my own guilt at my decisions, everything. If you lose this, I am going to tear up that birthday card you gave me.
Oh.
I know, so don't lose it. Now keep it hidden.
He's about to take it and he goes, if this is so important for 15 years of your life, why have you never brought it up before now?
Because, Xavier says, I nearly forgot my broken heart, and I have a tendency to assume everything's going to be okay. I didn't know I had a kid until, well, very recently. Ignorance is bliss, Lucas. Sometimes.
Lucas shrugs and then sticks out a hand,
Mm-hmm.
waiting for the ball to drop.
Okay, and I'll put it into Lucas's
Oh my
hand.
God.
Mm.
It's a trust exercise. Xavier says, looking towards Isaac.
It is. I was just more commenting on the ball dropping joke.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
All right.
All right, now you can speed us ahead.
Sure. You guys go to the park. As I said, it's about maybe like 1 in the afternoon, that time period. So believe it or not, the park is not incredibly crowded. People are usually working at school or things of that nature. So there are a few kids at the playground. There are a few people jogging or spending a day at the park. But for the most part, it is fairly quiet. You would get there first, Kid. I assume you'd kind of run off or wander off. I'm not sure how enthusiastically, but to the playground.
Does she still have her bag or their bag, just flailing in the air, running around the park?
Okay, so yeah, they run to the park. There are okay. So the park is fairly simple. It has a twisty slide. It has 2 types of swings. One is for little kids that has it's almost like plastic underwear that you sit in, and one is more of the traditional little seat that swings much higher. So there's 2 types of swings. And then a little tic-tac-toe roller board where you roll it to X or O. There are plenty of benches around, and you guys can, by all means, take your pick. Like I said, it's not very crowded. And it takes about 10 minutes or so. And to denote, would you guys have gotten there on time? Would you gotten there early?
Oh, early for sure.
Got it. All right, that's what I was assuming. So punctually, Beatrice would start. You would see her start coming towards you in the distance with a little bit under 4 foot tall furry companion walking next to her. As she gets closer, you can see that Beatrice is smoking a cigarette and holding what looks like a whiskey glass in the other hand. And as they get closer and closer, you see the almost mirror image of Kid start kind of slowly veering off from you towards Kid, as Beatrice continues a straight line towards you. And she'll come up, and you see when she does get close, she takes a drag on her cigarette, and actually literally is holding a whiskey glass with a large ice cube and what looks like to be whiskey in it. In the other hand, she goes, well, it's, I guess good to see you again.
I suppose so, says Xavier. And you're lucky Frontier Station doesn't have an Oprah liquor law, unlike many of the other CCW stations. I'm thinking of Gamma Thigh and Chronic Station. What's that? Chronic Station is crazy, man. They really like
Drugs.
you know,
everywhere.
Oh, there's no
sometimes
rules
the
at
top of my head
Chronic
doesn't work.
Station.
All right. Anyways, sometimes they don't allow you, but enough of the pleasantries. How are you doing?
Not so good.
Oh,
We
and
have
why?
a problem or opportunities, difficult to tell.
Okay.
I received a communication from my buyer, the gentleman you saw earlier.
Vector, yes.
Yes, this man. He is, the word I would use is spooked. It's a very short, simple message saying that the superiors of this station are poking around, and he is a very careful man. He does not like this. He was going to scrap the deal completely. I was able to convince him not to. Obviously, I still want to get paid. So, we have 3 hours. I am to meet him in 3 hours to make a quick exchange, and that will be the end. He is planning on disappearing.
You know, you should have a bit of a heads up in regards to this. He's planning on scrapping the deal entirely. So he was planning on just saying, never mind, you keep them, find someone else to buy them from, and break off all contact. He was that spooked.
Yes, he is a very
All right.
careful man.
So if he's so careful, says Xavier, what makes you think he's going to let you walk away from that face-to-face meeting alive? You might be walking into a trap.
Yes, it seems that we think alike, you and I. I also considered this, but in our profession, I need the money, yes.
So, where is this drop supposed to take place?
A very secluded, I don't suppose alleyways are the correct term on this station, service corridor. And she'll put the glass down and pull up a computer pad and punch in some coordinates. And what you guys see is there are behind the shops at one of the mini markets, there is a corridor that runs behind all the shops so that shop owners can enter the store from the back and take out trash and do the stuff that your business needs to do that they don't want in the public eye. And it's one of these kind of corridors.
And what's the operation procedure here? You are expected to show up there, and then what?
I was told to show up with the 3 items. He says that he will show up alone with the credits. I will denote, I agree this might be a trap.
Oh, yeah.
But I've dealt with this man, Vector, before. A very calm, collected man. This time, he seemed to really want these items. He was very disappointed that he was going to cut the deal off. Quite frankly, I was surprised at all I was able to convince him. It is possible he needs these and might be willing to be vulnerable. So either I'm walking into a trap, or you have yourselves an opportunity.
Xavier kind of looks towards Kid over at the park and his friends, and he says, I don't know. I've gotten by on my intuition many times, and something doesn't feel right about this at all. He was willing to cut off the deal, but he didn't really want to. He wants to meet you alone, and he says he's going to come alone. You've dealt with him before. Well, did you find any more information, or do I get to keep the 2.5 million that's in my pocket right now?
She takes another long drag of her cigarette, and she goes, No, I had not had time to ask questions yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's fine.
A different proposal, perhaps.
And I have one for you, too. Go ahead.
I do not like the idea of walking into a trap. I also want my money. Yes, I understand that if you were willing to pay the credits that I was offered, we would have done that on the other station.
Mm-hmm.
But I also would rather not walk away from this empty-handed, given the resources I've already spent.
Well, I can think of another buyer, says Xavier with a smile.
Oh. Can you now?
Mm-hmm. On a planet called Palladium. The original owner of these things. She's very wealthy, Baroness, maybe even more so. And it wouldn't surprise me. She might not be able to pay you in credits, since from my recollection they don't use credits, but they have all sorts of precious gems and jewels there too. And in fact, gems and jewels are wanted everywhere, and they don't have quite as much of a paper trail, do they?
You're suggesting that I try to sell this item back to the person it was stolen from.
Yes, the person why we're doing this for. So instead of me saying, well, good luck to you walking into this trap and never getting paid and probably dying, instead, I'm willing, Xavier says, to give up any sort of monetary reward. Have you come with us to... I know her very well. In fact, we travel with someone who knows her extremely well and has her ear. She is kin to this person. We will make it sound like it was entirely up to you. You're the one who retrieved this, which is mostly true, actually. You get any sort of monetary reward that is within reason, and we don't have to walk down that hallway having to worry about Vector.
And what assurances do I have that once we get there, you won't just simply tell her I stole it? So did you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Sorry, what was that, Squee?
She said, what assurances does she have that once you get there, you won't just tell them she stole it? That you'll keep your word, basically.
Oh, Xavier says, well, Xavier gives a bit of a grin. Because the item in question that this person really wants, that bracelet that's in your possession, she'll know that you didn't originally steal it. You know why? Xavier says with a little smirk.
She doesn't make any reaction, but just looks at you patiently.
Because I'm the one that took it originally.
Her eyes like widen just a little bit. And when she says that, she looks at everyone else. So she looks at each of you, Lucas, Isaac, Anna Hart, like in kind, trying to gauge reactions. I'm curious, what are you guys doing at the moment? What are your faces and what are your actions right now?
I mean, Lucas would be surprised, definitely, but now noticing somebody else is actually like paying attention to what he's doing, he's going to over exaggerate.
That he's really surprised.
Yeah.
He's overcompensating.
Sorry, and Kid, I will get to you in a moment. I promise. Isaac and Anna, what about you two?
Anna would probably just kind of be lounging back on a bench, just initially looking like impressed at Beatrice because she's literally walking around with a glass of whiskey. But then when like Xavier says that she's more, for the most part, her face will still be blank, but I'd just be more surprised he's saying this to her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Isaac.
Isaac, most of the time he would be spending sitting on another bench, talking to Hart and whatnot, but checking every once in a while. But when she says that, or when Xavier says that, he's going to turn and stare at Xavier, just stone-faced.
Okay.
I did.
Hart's gonna lean in and whisper in Isaac's ear, ooh, make the belt part of the deal. Make the belt part of the deal. And she'll like poke you.
Isaac's gonna motion over to Xavier his waistline, like, belt.
She'll like slap you in the shoulder, like, and Isaac much harder than she most likely intended. And she said, not his belt, her belt, the one that you said that they said make them go all ghost-like.
Xavier's gonna raise his hand towards the whistling Hart and Isaac, and he's gonna give a bit of a nod, and he'll say, "Now you might be asking yourself, how are we gonna trust each other? We can't let you aboard our ship because you'd be afraid of some sort of ambush, right? And vice versa, you wouldn't trust all of us on your ship and thought that you'd be outnumbered and you'd be vulnerable. So, in order to get to this planet, since certain technological elements don't work very well, we'll have to actually board a magical rift or portal from center to this location. Now, how are we going to get to center? Xavier says. Well, I say we both take our own ships, but to make sure that we don't run away with the gem that you want, and you don't run away with the bracelet that we really need, I'm suggesting an exchange. Xavier says. Half of our crew, or a few members of our crew, go on your ship while you travel there, and one of your crew goes on our ship while you're there. That way, we're both at each other's mercy, so to speak.
Roll me a trust check.
You roll what?
A trust check.
All right. Come on, Xavier. And see, and I'm like, okay, and then like freaking Hart can go on that ship and ask her all the questions that she wants. Ooh, I have a 70, so I succeed.
Okay. She looks at you for a long time and then takes a long drag, like a drag that kind of ends the cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
Throws it down, steps on it, goes, Mother told me there'd be days like this.
Yeah.
Fine. Consider it a deal. Gloop will stay with you, and she is gonna roll, hang on, a d6. Okay. Xavier's 1, Isaac 2, Lucas 3, Hart 4,
Anna
5, Kid 6. She points directly to Xavier and says, "You are going to be joining me on my ship."
Xavier will nod and he'll say, and I promise you I will be very charming company.
I have no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Fine. She kind of hesitates, like she wants to say something else. And then at this point, I'm going to skip back over. Kid. You're swinging on the swing while this is taking place. Your excellent eyesight would see, of course, that Beatrice approaches with that thing that looks just like you, without all the horns, and claws and things that make you viable.
So the horns are completely gone now.
Completely. Well, no, they're still there, but they're smaller and rounded
Okay.
and not designed for jabbing.
A downgrade, I see.
A downgrade, yes. And it starts walking over towards the swings.
Oh,
And
boy.
then walks up to the swings. And then sits on the swing next to you.
The entire time, Kid's like swinging as high as possible and just staring at them.
And it's Gloop staring at you and starts slowly swinging. And unless Kid does something, Gloop is going to start trying to compete.
I'm gonna compete. Well, no, actually, I'm gonna do an acrobatics check. Kid's gonna do a flying flip off this thing.
Okay.
So I suppose that's kind of a challenge, but still.
Do a balance. No, you have gymnastics, yes?
I
Acrobatics, you have both.
do.
Yeah.
I have both.
Do a backflip roll for me, please. I think that's the most valid.
Yes.
Okay. So you wait until you're at the zenith of the arc and then flip off?
Mm-hmm. Kid flips off and then just starts walking away. Not like casually walking, but like speed walking, just like
Hang on a second. At that display, Gloop goes and starts clapping and does this mid-swing, loses balance, and falls flat on their back.
Oh no, baby, why'd you do that?
And they rolled so badly. They hit the ground and they get the wind knocked out of them. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but I've actually had it happen to me once. Have you ever seen someone hit the ground and get the wind knocked out of them in such a way that they continuously exhale and kind of make a strange like sound?
Yes.
Oh, dude, I've had that happen to me. It sucks.
That is precisely what happens to Gloop.
Oh no!
So now there's a picture perfect almost version of Kid on the ground just going
Oh.
And back over at the other group, Beatrice would look over at the sound and she would look back over and she'd say, "Is that yours or mine?"
Xavier's gonna squint his eyes. I can't tell from this distance.
Kid's just speed walking, hands just clenched, walking over.
Okay, never mind.
After a minute, it's like, oh no, that's definitely Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anna, yes?
No. Laura kind of made what I was going to do null.
Okay, all right. Then Beatrice would say, and she kind of like puts her fingers on her temple and she goes, "Well, I will go tell him of our deal." Also,
one last thing, says Xavier.
Yes.
Now that we've established that we have no interest in walking into a trap, right?
Yes.
How about you give me the exact location since you won't be going there, and maybe we'll see if Vector's stupid enough or desperate enough to show up there anyway. And maybe we can settle our score with him. And if he does actually bring you your money, I'll give it to you. Minus 10% for hazard pay.
She looks at you and she considers and she says, "Tempting, but I don't think I will. At the moment, there is still opportunity for future employment. I may
don't want
not
to burn
show..."
all your bridges, huh?
She nods. "If I don't show up, it is understandable. Perhaps I got cold feet given the abruptness of the change of plans. I can work with that. If the forces in control. The authorities happen to be there. There's not much I can do to remain innocent.
Because how else would you know about the situation? Fair enough.
She nods. Do you have beef with this man?
Just a little bit. Nothing major. Nothing to get shot over, Xavier says. Although, you would say for certain, though, assuming he would show up, can you just tell me when it's supposed to be?
Yes, in 3 hours, as I said.
In 3 hours' time, which means he has to be somewhere on the station within those 3 hours, right?
That would make sense, yes.
Okay, that's all we need to know. We'll go ahead and let your friend there know, and Xavier will let her know where our ship is docked, and we'll meet you there. We'll do our exchange. I'll have to pick up some affix, some stuff for my ship, obviously, because it'll be a bit of a journey to center. And we can all have a little fun little meet and greet and little party before we go. For good luck.
She looks at you, narrows her eyes, and she says, "Very well. I will see you." She kind of hesitates. Say 6 hours from now.
Okay. Deal.
She nods.
See you soon.
She'll go over to where Gloop is and kind of pick him up. And you see from the distance, Gloop changes into another shape. Kind of hard to tell from this position, but it's a much less defined shape. It's like a person, but maybe a person that's like half melting.
Mm-hmm.
And then she kind of picks them up on their feet and starts walking away, talking to him quietly.
And Xavier's going to quickly gesture Kid over. Kid, come here.
What?
Okay, listen. First of all, I want to apologize about that guilt thing, because now I'm going to ask you to do something that is extremely important and involves a ton of trust, and a lot of money depends on this. Okay. So she, sorry, I feel so bad for forgetting. I want to say Cynthia, but that's not right.
Beatrice.
Beatrice there is skeptical and guarded and smart. But from what I saw with your antics with your little friend Floop, or Gloop, right? Gloop?
Gloop.
He seems to like you quite a bit, right? He wants to impress you.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to catch up with them. Have yourself a little play date or fun or chat with them away from Beatrice, and see if you can't find out where they were supposed to meet Vector.
Weren't you supposed to find that out?
She's too guarded. She doesn't like the idea, but there's literally 100 million or more credits that might be on the line there, plus a little unfinished business. It would mean a ton to me. Please, 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 please.
You can see just the range of thought, frustration, and then just on their face. Which, granted, isn't that much of a range, but it's still flashing between the three.
Uh-huh.
And then fine, they're just like, I guess.
Thank you.
How do you? I don't know. What do you want?
Xavier says, I'll give you a quick crash course here, right?
Okay.
Approach them. Say, hey, there's something about you that's really, really interesting that I really want to get to know. Hey, is it all right if we speak privately? Maybe you know something about, my species, right? You get him away. You chat him up a little bit. You make him want to like you. You know what I mean? And then you ask things about his, his background. Where he's from, what he's doing, where he met Beatrice, and then have the questions slowly start to narrow down to the specifics. Oh, are you here? Are you afraid of this Vector? I hear you were supposed to meet him. Where were you supposed to meet him? Are you okay with that? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And see if you can't just, pry the information out. Pretend you're me for 10 minutes and you'll be okay.
They start to open their mouth to answer, and then they just frown really hard. Just like, okay, sure.
Thanks. And Xavier says, don't worry, there isn't a ton of pressure. There's a little bit, because this will make our lives a lot easier. And if you do, great. But you know what? If you don't get the information, no big deal, because we're going to be working on our end to try and narrow down where this bastard might be.
Gotcha.
Okay? So now with that big stress off your mind, relax, and maybe you'll find more about this Gloop guy. Maybe you'll be friends. He's going to be, also he's going to be traveling on our ship on the way to center, so.
What?
Yeah, we've exchanged, we've made a deal with them. They're going to come with us to Susanna's homeworld, Palladium, to hand over all the belongings that were stolen, and, so they can get a reward. And in order to trust us, I have to go on their ship, and Gloop's coming on our ship. No, listen. I'll explain this later, Xavier says as he, pat Kid's, shoulder inside. They're getting away. You gotta catch up with them. Hurry.
Yeah, it's fine.
No.
They take off.
He gives a very friendly push.
They take off, but glance behind them, just to narrow their eyes at you, just in the corner. Kid is going to remember this.
And once Kid is out of earshot, Xavier's going to turn the rest of his friends. He says, okay, there's a 5% chance that's going to work. We got to put our heads together and try to find Vector.
There's also a 5% chance you're going to die.
Well, I'm willing to take that chance for 100 million. And the best thing about this, says Xavier, as he's trying to control Isaac and Lucas and Anna, they don't want anything to do with it, which means we get to keep all the money. And revenge. Right, Isaac?
Isaac's still rubbing his shoulder from where Hart punched him. Yeah, sure, that seems like a good idea. Why didn't you get the belt, though? Damn it.
Listen, Xavier says, it was a very... Okay, all right. Tell you what. If... I didn't want to break the deal. It was very tumultuous, right? So how about this? Okay. If we find Vector, and if he does have the money on it, how about we exchange that money for the technology about the belt? And in the sense, we'll be able to get the belt too.
That sounds good, right, Hart?
She's looking back and forth, and she goes, I just want to take it apart.
That's
right.
a yes.
Hey, doesn't Gloop have a belt? Gloop has a belt, right?
I don't know. Does Gloop have a belt?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we saw him use it in the museum, right, Squee?
Yes, out of character, absolutely. Yeah, he had a
Perfect. Hey, Hart.
Oh.
Hart. Gloop's going to be on our ship. He's going to have the belt. You might have your opportunity to do that.
You see her eyes slowly widen.
Oh yeah, so there you go. Excellent. So Hart's happy. We still get to keep the 100 million, not spend it on anything. And once again, though, that's a big if we can find Vector, but we can't find him figuring out this way. So we have to use all of our skill, all of our cunning to try and narrow this guy down. So do we have any ideas?
Well, it's a back streets. Let's see. I could try and figure something out, I think.
We know he has to meet in the hallway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we have to get in the mind of Vector. If we're Vector and we want the lowest, most controlled environment with the least amount of risk, we're going to need someone who needs to pour out the schematics of Frontier Station.
Yeah. Which I think we can do.
And here's another route, too, right? He's not going to go out the airlock and whisk away somewhere, right? Which means his ship has to dock and undock at some point. That's another approach we can try to narrow this guy down on.
Yeah,
right?
He's very likely going to want to isolate himself close to his ship. So that's going to be a maintenance tunnel that is going to be near a docking station.
Exactly. Exactly, because he's going to want to have a quick in and out. He's not going to want to be in the center of the station where there's no support, no nothing, especially with the amount of heat on him. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got that. We know the guy hid in a nebula for a while too, which means he likes to use the environment to mask his presence. So we might want to look for any sort of electrical problems within Frontier Station or any sort of environment that can screw with sensors. Any sort of black holes in the sensory grid.
Yes, that's a good idea as well.
Okay, and out of character, I'm going to be looking through all of my skills because I have off the top of my head.
I have 2 or 3 off the top of my head.
All right.
All right.
Well, why don't we just go down the list? What are you guys thinking?
I have intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
which is like spy, counter spy type deal. I have tracking. I also have streetwise. I would imagine that 2, maybe 3 of those would apply in this, trying to figure out where he would likely want to be.
So, I would say that streetwise definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Tracking and intelligence would need something more to be effective. So intelligence is basically your ability to analyze documents and intel and information to determine and understand the MO and working and characteristics, right?
Yeah, get inside his head. If all I need is a map of Frontier Station.
No,
right?
You need information on him, how he operates, how he works.
But we already know. We just listed a lot of things, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think here.
Like, we listed that it's very likely going to be near a docking station. It's going to definitely be in a corridor. It's probably going... Yeah, we've dealt with him before as well.
You have. All right, I'd let you roll an intelligence check, sure.
Okay. If there's a penalty, that's fine.
The tracking would be more like you found a place where he was, and now you're trying to see where he went.
Gotcha.
That in that case, you could use it.
Okay.
But yes, I would say there'd probably be a 10 penalty on the intelligence. But the streetwise definitely. And before you roll though, let's see what else we got. Xavier, what are you thinking?
No
well, what I'm thinking, I also have streetwise too, right? But I think I might have a better way of approaching this, right? Xavier will have to get out onto the ship, so we'll have to have another 2,000 docking fee when I redock. But I'm thinking that Vector isn't stupid, and he would be saying this in character too. Vector isn't so stupid to dock his vehicle in someplace where it'd be registered where Pawn knows, right? Which either means one of 2 things. He's using a dummy vehicle, right? Or he's docking outside the station itself and entering through a different way, a different route. If he's docked outside the station, if he's attached this to the space station somehow, it means he'll have to camouflage his ship. I want to take the second chance out to pretty much scan around Frontier Station and see if I can't find a camouflage ship. And that would be using my camouflage skill, obviously.
I like that idea because then it opens up, not only would it be docking stations, but it could be anything from refuse pipes to anything.
Exactly, precisely.
Okay.
So I can't do both. I can't do both streetwise in the station and thoroughly look outside the station in a short period of time, in a 3-hour period of time. So I think I'll do my camouflage check outside the station. That's how I'm best utilized.
Okay. Lucas, Anna, either of you have something you'd like to add or attempt to do?
I also have streetwise, and I have tailing.
Oh, that's perfect then. All you have to do, maybe Anna, is find someone who says they've worked with Vector and tail them a little bit, because if he's really spooked, that means he's cutting off ties, which means he's doing last-minute business, which means it might lead you to some clues.
Right. So here's what I would say. If there are really good streetwise checks that you find something more apt like that, then we can definitely talk about tailing. So, but that would start, I think, with the streetwise check from both Isaac and from Anna. However, real quick before we do that, Lucas.
You doing okay there, buddy, or do you need some more time? You're also muted in case you need time.
Yeah, I was looking over my skill, and I think the most appropriate one is Keytar that I have.
Yeah, make a couple
I
bucks.
literally have nothing to find anything.
Okay.
Well, that's not to say you wouldn't be useless, right? Far from it.
If you want a person to move anywhere, I can get to a place.
Yeah, with your ridiculous, 30 speed?
It's close.
Okay, so why don't we do this? We start off with Anna, Isaac, roll me streetwise checks, and Xavier, please roll me the camouflage check.
What about Kid?
No penalties for any of you. It's just more of a how much did you succeed by if you succeeded.
I succeed by 41.
Okay.
What about Kid?
We're getting to Kid in a second because Kid's doing something completely different.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, so I only have a. Let me double check. I only have a 45% chance of success.
This is for streetwise.
Oh shit! Well, no luck on that.
I made it by 31%.
Okay. Anna, you made it by how much?
41.
Okay. Give me a second while I think here. All right, first things first. Xavier, you don't detect any sort of hidden or camouflage ships outside of the station.
Can I do one more skill check since I'm in the pilot's chair scanning around there?
Sure.
Read sensory equipment for any sort of anomaly, electronic, like electrical or spatial anomaly around Frontier Station.
Sure. Give it a go.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
This is better. This is an 80%. Come on, baby. There we go. Succeed by 50.
Okay. So I'm trying to think.
Get your thoughts together. We're coming at you from like literally 5 different angles.
And I appreciate the effort and thinking you guys are putting into this. So
Thanks.
your ship does not have any sensors that are specialized in scanning internal station for what you're looking for.
Yeah, I was thinking more external stuff.
Right. Externally, no. You're fairly confident. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
To be fair, we also don't have the unicorn horn, so that if we did have that up and running, maybe it might have helped. We don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. Externally, Xavier, you're reading the equipment pretty well. You're running this thing pretty well. You're fairly confident that on the outside of the station doesn't seem to be much amiss.
Okay. All right.
Isaac, unfortunately, you come up with nothing. You obviously your experience and your background tells you not to be overt, but it's not just running around asking if anyone's seen Vector. You have to be careful how you approach it, and you get no hits. No one really understands what you're talking about. Whoever this guy is, he keeps his information tight to his chest. Anna. The same is true for you for the most part. You're starting to give up hope. No one seems to really know what's going on or what's being said, what you're asking about. Other than the fact that it's complicated even more by the fact that this is Frontier Station, there'd be shady people everywhere.
And she's never been on Frontier before other than the last time we were here.
However, you were sitting in the right place at the right time, so to speak. You were overhearing a conversation about a docking supervisor, or sorry, a ship store. Actually, hang on. Give me a second here. I can tell you a bit more than that.
Spunk's junk.
No.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah, I
thing.
know. That was a thing that happened. You hear a conversation. Come on, where is it? Between two people. One of them who works at a place called Flea's Market. Now, you don't know what Flea's Market is just from the sound of it, but it looks like some sort of shop or store. And they're talking about an order that they had for certain equipment that basically he's saying his friend is like, hey, you coming to the game? And he's like, no, I want to, but we had this order. We weren't supposed to have it ready for another day or two, but all of a sudden our client wants to speed things up and get the order in the next few hours. Well, that sucks. So who's the client? I don't know, man. Some guy's paying with straight credits. Like I don't know what my manager's thinking, but I'm not going to be able to make it today.
So Anna.
Does he leave after this conversation?
Yeah, the conversation kind of winds down, and he starts heading back towards the flea market.
Now for a tailing check?
If you like. Though I will say your character would know this much. I mean, if he's headed to a store, it's not going to be that hard to find the store itself. But
Okay.
that's up to you. Before we get there, though, however, I'd like to skip over to Kid, if everyone's okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Kid.
I mean, no, how dare you? No, I'm good.
Kid,
Yes.
what is your next step?
Oh God, that's a good question, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, the tiny monster gets to be the charmer. This is gonna be interesting. Pretty much they're gonna try and do what Xavier suggested to a T, because deviating from that is dangerous, and they're not really good at improvising outside of battle.
Okay, so how are you approaching? They're walking away right now. They've got their backs turned to you.
Pretty much. Will it out or not? Okay. Sorry. They are going to run up and pretty much, like Xavier said, just kind of try and get their attention. Just like, hey, you.
Okay. At that, Beatrice spins
amazing.
around with a hand behind her, like she puts a hand to her back, and
Okay.
Gloop actually, for the first time ever, loses form and turns into what looks like an amorphous floating blob that is partially see-through.
Oh, okay.
And Beatrice looks around, sees you, kind of relaxes a little bit, and says, "Oh, it's the little one. What do you want?"
Kid opens their mouth to respond and then pauses and thinks for a moment, and they suddenly look like they're kind of shrinking in on themselves, like they don't know what to do. And then they're just like, I was hoping to talk, maybe.
Then talk.
And then they glance over at Gloop and goes, with you not, I mean, we can talk too if you want.
This is amazing.
Oh, kid. Roll me a trust check, please.
Oh God. My uncharismatic child.
You can
This
do
is
it.
gonna hurt.
I
This is why I
believe
get
in
5%.
you. Get a one. Shit.
Oh no.
Womp womp.
She
They don't
narrows
have-
her eyes and she says, he'll be on your ship for plenty of time to talk. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Well, all right, so they're going to stop trying to talk to Beatrice because she's not going to buy it. And then they're going to look at Gloop and say, you can look like me.
Instantly, Gloop shifts back into a version of you, but exactly like you, horns and everything.
Oh boy. Just internal, just like, ah.
Except one
Do I
big
really look
difference.
like that?
Yeah,
Is my fur like
one big difference. This version's smiling broadly.
Oh god. Kid nods slowly and goes, I wanted to talk about you, that, me, maybe.
Gloop goes, oh, I wanted to talk to you for so much. Oh my gosh, I have so many questions. Beatrice, please. Can I just for a little bit? Beatrice, please. Hang on.
Now he gets to roll a trust check.
Yeah, he does. Beatrice kind of sighs and she goes, I will be over there. And she points to a bar. Be quick.
A bar right next to the kids' playground. I
Yep.
love it.
This is Frontier Station.
It's Frontier Station. You're lucky there isn't a whorehouse right across from the bar.
No.
Right. She kind of shakes her head, again muttering something about mother told her, and stalks off. And then the second she's like 5 feet away, so why the horns? I don't understand. With these horns, it's much harder for people to pet you, and you're so soft, and you want to be petted. Why?
I don't, what? Kid's like suddenly blown over by like this spam of questions, and they're like, they're not what?
Gloop walks over and actually like starts touching your horns. These, and like shaking your head a little bit. They're so sharp. That is so unfriendly. How do you live like this?
Because that's how I was made, born. It's just how it is.
Oh, right. I forget about that. It must be so tough for you. Beatrice tells me that I'm really insensitive sometimes because I can change shape. So I forget that others can't change shape, and I wonder why. I mean, you are amazing. He says. I mean, look at you. I think this is fantastic, but I don't know. Maybe less sharp and more soft. And then he barks. Guys, let's take a quick 3-minute break. I did warn you this was coming. A quick 3-minute break. I'll be right back.
Oh, trust
I'm very
me,
happy
they're
about
trying.
I want you all to know I'm very proud that I put this in motion. I'm extremely proud.
I'm proud of you as well, because otherwise I would have been very sad, because Kid's not going to volunteer this normally.
Yay!
Just a quick
Well
aside, because I stepped away for a bit and I was holding the orb. Was that exchanged, or do I still have that?
No, you still have it.
You still have it. You still have it. You're still the keeper of the orb.
Well done.
Dear God, please don't lose it. It's not super critical now because what's her face? Beatrice and Gloop are coming along with us, but it's probably good to keep it.
Lucas, don't lose that orb. It holds the fate of my family. Please don't.
Oh my god. My
I
found
thought
family.
this was going in a penis joke direction.
Yeah,
No.
cool.
No, it was a balls
Not
joke
this
direction. Balls.
Oh my
yes.
god.
My orb.
Oh,
Are you telling me this is your family jewel?
There you go.
There we go.
You got
There
it.
we go.
Hey.
Back to the basics.
But I was trying to think of something that like Lucas could do, like because I don't know his spell list or anything like that, right? But what Lucas is good at doing and what he has fun doing. He loves
Right.
singing songs and telling jokes and getting into pretending to be people, right? So, oh my god, I got an idea for you out of character.
Yep.
Oh my god, I have a crazy idea, and I don't. Maybe. Oh my god, maybe he'd do it. Since okay, so Lucas has seen Vector, right, and he knows how he looks and acts. What if Lucas pretended to be Vector, and Vector would show up and see like, who the fuck is this guy impersonating me?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Everyone's just
could try to
impersonating
fuck with them
everybody.
like that. Easily, sure.
You know what I mean? Like, he could pretend he's Vector and he shows up in a bar and he acts all badass like the real Vector is. And since it's Lucas, it'll be silly and bizarre. And that might create enough attention that the real Vector or Vector's agents might show up and be like, who the fuck is this guy who says he's Vector?
That would be a fantastic lure. I love it.
That's my idea for Lucas, because that's what he likes doing. He likes imitating
Yeah.
people. He likes personas. Right? Am I right in this assessment, Piffy?
Generally, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure this doesn't immediately spook him, because it does seem like a thing that would. Because, like, hey, people
could be
know
our
that you're
saving
here and
throw.
existing.
You know what? It could be our saving throw. It could be if we have if we lose all of our leads, then if Kid doesn't find success, yeah, it can be our plan Z. Plan Z.
Since we have a bit of a time, and I can generally just kind of quickly go through these as a quick aside. Here are generally how my spells work without too much detail. The ability to stick things to things. Being able to see really well. A glowing bomb. Being able to alter facial features. Being able to sense nearby magic. A smoke bomb. Being able to seem weaker than he is.
Pies and teeth.
Pies and teeth. Screeching to a point where people can't think straight. I'm going to skip this one because this is not going to be a thing that anyone cares about. Yes, kid?
Don't you have a pie that can act as a tracker?
Yes and no. It is a pie that can be hit on a person that increases the tracking of a person by smell.
So basically a pie.
But it would immediately cover them in red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about
and
a
make them
small
smell.
portion?
I
of
was
the
I was
pie?
just thinking that a normal pie would do this as well. Not as well.
Yeah,
I
obviously,
think to a bigger degree. Imagine,
Yeah.
those die packs they put in banknotes when people try to steal from the bank and they explode and cover dye everywhere.
Yeah.
Think of that in pie form, probably.
Oh, yeah,
Anyways,
yeah,
welcome back.
Oh
Squee.
my god.
Hello.
I could. Ooh, I have an idea for if I could possibly learn that. Make a bullet that's cherry and explodes for tracking. That
It's
could
a
be
paintball.
hilarious. Yeah, it's
Most
a
of your guide
paintball.
knows most of my pies. Damaging, slippery, colors things. That's mostly its general deal. And just is pie. Something slick, fiery, another sticky thing. I don't even remember what that one is, but that's not gonna.
So off physical things.
Yeah.
A weapon, rope, change color. If anyone's trying to sneak up on us, I can basically have an alarm. Shrink. This is just create candy, so there's that.
Okay.
Bounce really high. Make people laugh. Becoming thin. Freaking giant circus ball. You guys have seen that a few times. Scary people. More weapon stuff. Non-lethal gun damage.
Jesus.
Oh, I remember that.
All right.
Uh,
All right, yeah.
Well,
So,
thanks for the idea.
Yeah.
real quick. So let's just jump right back in. Kid,
Ye-
Gloop is in the middle of assaulting you with an apology.
Um. Yeah. All right. So, as is Gloop still touching me, kid?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kid takes a moment to steady themselves and count to 10 and then 20 and then go. I mean, I have a friend that can do that too. They're a lot smaller, but they can turn into other stuff.
You know another amorph?
I don't think so. There she's called a frill. Her name is Lil.
Oh. Oh. Can I meet her?
Yeah. I mean, eventually she's not here right now, but she's on the ship. And
Oh.
apparently
Oh,
you're
and
coming
Beatrice
with
said I'm going to
us.
be on your ship. That's fantastic.
Yup. It's gonna get to meet Lil and Cyber and everybody. As they totally didn't forget all the other people's names.
He jumps up and down and goes, "This is going to be great." Beatrice says to be careful, but I don't understand why. You guys seem like very nice people, but she is very, very smart. So maybe I'm not supposed to be this excited, but I'm really excited.
I mean, that's so unfriendly. um Kid kind of shrugs a little bit and goes, "We're nice people." Yeah.
Huh? Oh, you said you wanted to talk to me? Did you have questions for me?
Yeah. And Kid kind of like rolls a trust check. Shit. No. Kid kind of gestures towards like some of the benches away from Beatrice. Just like, do you want to like sit down and talk? Apparently
Do I?
people do that.
Gloop grabs your hand and
Uh-huh.
literally starts skipping towards one of the benches.
Okay. He's skipping along and Kid's just stumbling, just like, all right, okay, we're going.
I'm very proud that Xavier sized this guy up, right?
I don't think it was very hard.
I'm proud Kid decided to talk to him and not Beatrice.
It was just like, this is going nowhere. Easy target. All right. Once they sat down, Kid's kind of like gonna be fiddling with their fingers and go, so you can just change into things. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, my people, we're called amorphs. We're kind of like ghosts, but we're not dead. But we can change into the shape of anything we see, anything at all. And he will just like start morphing into a human, a wolfen, an alien you've never seen before. A small little goblin type thing, and just goes into like 15 different shapes in about 5 seconds.
Kids' eyes go wide and they're like fascinated, but also like an expression of just concern. Just like, oh, and that's wow.
It's really cool. Unfortunately, though, I don't gain the abilities of whatever I look like. I just look like them.
Oh,
Well, and feel like them. And he'll take your hand. He goes back to kid's form, and he'll take your hand and like start brushing his arm with your hand.
Kid like gently starts patting him on the arm, just like, yep, you sure do. Wow. Um, so how long have you been hanging out with Beatrice? She seems nice.
Oh, a couple years now. She was contracted to kill me, which was not very nice. But once she met me, she took pity on me, which was really nice. And I don't know. I think that I make her laugh, though I've never seen her laugh. But she says it, so I trust her. And she decided instead that she actually broke the contract and has actually protected me. And so now I stick with her because, quite honestly, well, we're not exactly the most loved type of people. A lot of people think that I am evil or mean or something, and they want me killed because I don't know. And so she protects me. She's really good. I know she seems angry and harsh but she says that she's just Russian.
I love him. Oh my god. All right. Kid's just like absorbing all of this and now has filed Russian away as apparently like a rude person type being.
Uh-huh.
And finally goes, well, I mean, at least you're safe with her, although, you know, this guy Victor, he seems a little bit dangerous. They say with a look of concern that they're definitely not forcing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like him that much. But we don't know him by that name. We call him Jamal. But yeah, he pays us a lot of money when we do a job, but I don't like his face. He's very cold. He doesn't show a lot of emotion, but not like Beatrice. Beatrice has emotion, but you know, and he like points to his chest, like hidden. He just seems like, you know,
mean.
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
I mean, are you sure you guys are safe doing business with him? Especially if he's going to be all like...
Oh, absolutely not. At least that's what Beatrice says all the time. She's very careful around him. But the money's good, and we need money. Plus, we get to steal stuff, and it's really fun.
Kids' ears perk up a little bit at that, but they kind of stow that thought away for later. Goes, I mean, like, my friend said that she doesn't want us to help, but I'd like, if you need help, like, and they kind of like lower their voice and goes, she doesn't have to know.
Help with what?
With mean guy.
I mean, right? But how help? You mean make him not mean?
I don't know how to do that. But I mean, you guys were all right. Kid knows about the trap, right? The possibility of the trap.
Yeah, she like with kids hearing, you would have heard the entire conversation.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know how like wide the park was, so just making sure. But yeah,
no, you were like 20 feet away. So
okay, yeah. But Kid would frown and say, "But if it's a trap, like if it's just you and her, you guys could get hurt." I mean,
Oh.
you don't know how many people he has. If he has people, you don't. I mean, he picked the spot, didn't he?
Right. Well, Beatrice had this plan where she was going to ask you guys for help and convince one of you to pretend to be me, and then we would all jump them together. But now she says that we're not going to do that plan, and instead we're going to some other place to go to a place to make money. I don't understand the details.
Oh my god. Oh no, that would probably. All right, kid's going to have a thought. It's a really stupid thought,
I love
and
that
then
kind.
they're gonna put
Go on.
they're going to leave. They're gonna put their hand on Gloop's shoulder, and they're going to leave it there, and they're going to look deeply into his eyes and goes,
Uh-huh.
"I can go as you, and you can go as me."
His eyes slowly widen. He goes, "That's amazing." No, wait, why is that amazing? That's great. Wait, why?
I can protect Beatrice. You said that you can shapeshift, but you can't take those powers. The powers or the abilities, the whatever of what you're made into. I'm
Oh.
strong. And
I go
so
as Beatrice, you go as me, and then we don't
no.
need anyone else.
No. That's I can go as you so that I can make sure Beatrice is safe, and then you go with them so
Oh,
that we have backup.
but Beatrice said we're not doing that anymore, that you guys made some other type of deal. But you and I could do it.
Up to you. I'm fine with it as a player.
Oh god. How would you get away from her?
He looks at you and goes, "That means yes." He grabs your hand and starts pulling you away.
Oh Jesus. That was supposed to be that was meant to be like, no, we can't because you'll never get away. But instead he just takes off.
He's like, that sounds like a challenge. Off we
Oh
go.
god.
Kid was trying
just,
to be responsible.
They were, and now they can't be. And
So
so
I'm gonna
now
call this a mixed success. Whereas
I mean-
Kid is gonna find out where the meeting is, but that's just because Kid's gonna be at the meeting and no one else is going to know. Unless
letting
Anna
us
figures it
know.
out too. Actually, no,
Yes.
that's not true. That's not true. Yeah.
So with that, I'm gonna
Oh,
jump
God.
back over to Anna.
Real quick,
Uh-huh.
You go.
for the end of that conversation, Kid would turn on their comms so that everyone else could hear it.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh my.
So,
Oh
what point would you
my.
turn on your comms?
As they're trying to formulate the plan of like, what if I go as you and you stay as me? And then he goes, and then I go as Beatrice. And Kid's like, no.
Okay, so everyone who has a radio at the moment would have heard everything from that point forward.
Okay, that's interesting.
Woo!
But yeah, as they're as Kid's getting pulled away, they're just like, all right, so that's happening. That's what we're doing.
Uh-huh,
Is desperately trying to convey like, this is what's going on. Help.
Give us you'll hear Isaac say, give us status updates of where you are every once in a while, if you can. And what direction you're traveling.
Oh my god. Oh, subterfuge is not what Kid was made for.
Nope.
No shit.
No.
Literally
Not
or
at all.
figuratively. Oh my
All
god.
right.
You're lucky
right,
you
so-
have the most naive person in the universe you're with.
I know.
I'm gonna jump to Anna. Anna, what is your next step after that employee leaves?
Is there like an outdoor cafe or bar across the street from this store? Because I'm gonna follow him in a store. Right.
Oh, right. So you're gonna follow
Yeah, we
in the
didn't actually
store?
do that far. Yeah.
Roll me a tail check.
Okay.
A tail check. Do you
I-
have a tail?
I do not have a tail.
All right, you've passed your tail check.
21.
You're tailing.
Succeeded.
Oh, okay. You succeed. I was gonna say you're tailing.
I have 21 tails.
All right, you succeed. Yeah, you're able to
fucking
follow. You're able to follow him in the crowded station to Flea's Market, which turns out to be a large, like general shop. Has all kinds of armor and items and things of that nature. Wearable equipment, thermal lenses, hearing plugs, hearing aid plugs. I mean, jumpsuits, things of that nature. It's got a plethora of stuff.
How busy is it?
Average. So the store is about the size of trying to think of what's a good like a Best Buy. I don't know if you guys know what those are. Think like an electronics store.
We have Best Buys up here.
I don't know. So
We used to have Future Shop, and this Best Buy bought them and took them
that
over.
sounds so much
That was-
cooler though.
I know, it's Future Shop.
So it's a fairly large store. So there's probably a good 20 people in there, and then maybe 10 to 15 employees.
Oh, okay. What's like across the street or like immediately around it?
Roll me a D100, please.
It is children's parks.
Oh my God.
68.
It's another store. This store seems to sell like computers. It's like the frontier station of an Apple store.
Shit, Anna
God.
needs a new computer, but that's not the point of this mission.
If there's a wolf in jeans and a black sweater, I'm gonna lose my shit.
With like a
And
name
if his
tag.
name is Stephen Pobbs, I'm gonna lose my shit even more.
Yeah, it has a name tag. His
6
name's
for this
Chad.
to exist.
Oh boy. Okay. So there is a Wolfen wearing a very modern uniform, which includes like a polo shirt, and it looks like this Wolfen works out. It has its hair gathered in like a ponytail behind it, and it's wearing a name tag that says Chad.
Oh, it's everyone that goes to my school.
Really? You go to school with Wolfens?
I
Yeah.
go to school with hipsters.
Oh god.
Okay, that was really just for me. No, I'm gonna go into the actual general store part.
Okay. I will, if you need it, I can shoot you the actual what this store has, but I think that's not really your goal at the moment. So if you want, I can shoot it to you later.
Yeah, sure, because she might get
Yeah,
shafted.
while you're there, who knows, right? So, all right, what do you do while you're there? So the employee you're tailing, he goes straight into the back.
I'm just gonna be like window shopping and just listening to the conversations.
Okay. Roll me a streetwise check.
Oh, okay. Succeeded by 4.
All right. Yeah, you hear a couple more people talking about that big order that was a rush job, but no new details that you didn't already know.
Okay. At the moment, I'm just kind of wait around and see if anything happens. So kind of just
Comes back out, and he's got kind of like a dolly, which is kind of like a hover lift.
Mhm.
And on that dolly is just a big box full of some interesting supplies. It has a let's see, give me a second here. It has a bunch of super spray sealant. You're familiar with this? What this is? It's for ship hull damage. It's like an emergency repair kit. If there's a hole, damage in the hull of the ship, you can spray this on and it hardens and it covers up holes. So there's quite a bit of that. Looks like one EVA suit, and a bunch of E-clips. That's what you see. And then there's a bunch of other stuff in there that you can't see.
Okay. And he's leaving the store with us, or is he just like?
Yeah, he's walking out of the store with this.
Can I tail him again?
Yes, roll me another tail check. And make this harder.
Oh,
Okay, never mind. I was gonna say
my
make it
tail
harder.
check is 75.
Yeah. So this one's more difficult because he very quickly starts going into less populated areas.
Mhm.
But he takes this halfway across the station to a docking port and takes it up to a ship. This ship is fairly small. It is about the size of a small cargo freighter. Maybe has a crew of 5-ish. That's that size of ship. He takes the dolly to there, meets a human who is partly balding, has brown hair, cut short on the sides, and then on the top he's got like a comb over thing going. And he looks like he's in his 40s, maybe, not the most physically fit. And he talks to the employee for a little bit. He touches the pad on a computer, and then he takes the dolly up the ship.
Anna will go and like kind of out of sight and out of earshot and into the radio, be like, "So what does this guy look like again?"
I'll give you guys a refresher because it's been.
He's a handsome boy.
He is. He's a fairly attractive man, probably in his 30s. He has dark hair. When you guys saw him, it was black, straight hair, cut short, like in a military cut. He has a strong jawline, and basically, they would be able to describe him. Does not look like the guy you're looking at.
Is comb over bro one of his minions by any chance? And we'll give a better description than that.
All right, Xavier will say the last time we met him, all of his known associates, we literally blew up.
Oh, wow. How about, did you see his ship, or did you blow up his ship?
We saw a fighter ship that he got away on, and Xavier will give a description of that.
Yeah, this is much bigger than a one-man fighter.
Okay. I don't know if I found the right ship, but I found a ship.
Xavier will say encouragingly, well, keep chasing that lead. We have Kid on an open comm as well. It looks like they're letting this group lead them to the meeting point, but until that happens, keep on going, Anna, because I got nothing out here. I've been scanning out here, and I can't find anything camouflaged whatsoever, nothing out of order. So Xavier says he might be using a legitimate ship, and I doubt it's going to be the same thing he escaped on a couple of years ago.
Is there any way to access like the registers of this place?
Officially, no. Ship manifests and the like are not protected. Are protected.
Officially.
You can't. Yeah, you can't just walk up and be like, "So what's this ship? What's it do?" They'd be like, "I'm sorry, I can't tell you." But you can always try and hack the database.
I mean, I have a 1 in 5 chance now.
Yes,
Do
you
it.
do.
We're gray, remember? We're morally gray.
I don't think that's concerning. Yeah, I think it's
The
more
morally
the getting
gray
caught
1 in
part.
5ers.
Oh. Listen, I already
like-
posted one person out of Frontier Jail.
Oh, it's my turn. How easy would it be? Like view, like not easy, but like how, like where? What's the word I'm trying to think of? Like how visible would I be in this situation as I'm trying to hack this?
Exposed.
It would not. So if you take a bit of time, you're in a docking station which is full of cargo crates and things of that nature. You would have to access one of the terminals there, but there are enough of them that you could. You know what? Roll me a D100 again. They are literally all being used right now. So you can either try and hack in wirelessly through your own computer, which would be harder.
Which I need to go buy.
Or you can try and wait for one of them to become available. But basically right now, it's just really bad luck. It looks like the docking crew just happens to be on all the ones you see right now.
Does it look like it's all employees?
Uh-huh.
Like, I guess, are they wearing like uniforms? Or are they wearing like?
Yeah, like docking, like grease monkey outfits.
Okay, so I can't convince them that. Or I probably could, but I don't.
I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't convince someone.
I don't have the brain power to figure that one out tonight. I think. Yeah. Is there really like a place to wait around, or is this kind of one of those places where if you're waiting around, that's immediately suspicious?
Yeah, it's one of those places where if you wait around long enough, someone's going to be like, "Can I help you?" I mean, it wouldn't be unheard of, but you'd have to have an excuse to be there.
Okay.
It'd be like, you know, it's like I said, it'd be like waiting at an airport, just standing around. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, I got. Yeah. I think I'm just kind of like wandering around, but I'm not going to leave the area as I wait for her. But like not around the terminals, but I'm going to.
Sure. Hang on a second. All right. We'll say it takes another half hour. So it's been about 2 hours now since the meeting, because half an hour to tail him to the store, an hour to wait, another half hour. And at this point, not only do one of the terminals become open, but they become open and no one's in view of it.
Oh, even better.
All right, go ahead and roll me a hacking check, please.
Oh, I failed by 8.
Yeah, you're not able to get into. This is a new time, different encryption, different type of security. You're not familiar enough to break it.
Fair enough. Yes, I think the rule is you have to wait like several more hours, and I don't feel like doing that.
Yep. All right. Do you? Well, hang on, because that takes some time. So let me go back to everyone else. So I'm gonna kind of leave this more narrative, but so here's the question, kid. You are being dragged somewhere. What are you doing to? I assume you're trying to keep everyone informed. How are you doing so?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
How are you attempting to let everyone know where you're going?
Kid's just going to openly ask, so where are we going? I'm not really familiar with the station.
We're going to where we're supposed to meet him.
Okay, where's that?
This way.
Do you have a name for it?
A what?
What do you call the place where we're meeting? Person. I don't know the word dude.
He kind of squints and he says, "You just said it. It's the meeting place. Do you name your meeting places? That's odd."
I mean, not. It's
like Samantha or something. Like, we're gonna meet at Samantha. That's kind of cool, actually. Now that I think about it, we can call it Samantha if you like, but I mean, we don't have a name for it.
No, I meant like, is it by a shop place with a name or something?
I don't know. It's behind the stores. I remember where it is. Beatrice showed me, but I'm not really good with names.
Xavier's gonna get on the comm, as he's probably at this point like docking the ship back, into Frontier Station, and he'll say, "Kid, don't ask too many questions. You'll get them suspicious. Just
Yeah.
when you get close to the store, start reading off store names, and we'll track you. We'll be your backup.
Alrighty. Kid would frown a little bit, but nod.
Wait, that wasn't too. That wasn't too. That was completely in character, right, Squee? Like they have a we can talk to them via the radio, right? Like it's probably in kid's ear or something like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
It
All
is
right. So
one
it's
of
not like a
those.
big speaker or anything like that.
Right.
Okay,
No, and I would say that if it was, Xavier would have known that. So no, it was
Okay,
in kid's
alright.
ear, so it's fine.
All right. Cool.
Okay. So it takes a good 45 minutes of wandering around because Gloop will be like, "Oh wait, no, not that way," and then go back this way and that way, and eventually he'll say, "Oh, this is it. It's close by." And kid, you can see he starts taking you in between some stores, two stores in
Mhm.
particular. You see the names for. One is called League Emporium, League, like a league, like a sports league, but League
Mhm.
Emporium. And the other one is just called The Rolls, and it's like a bakery.
They're going to say those names out loud, just like League Emporium and the Rolls. I wonder what they do in there.
Coop goes, "Oh, I don't know," and he'll veer off and start dragging you towards The Rolls.
Whew.
You guys hear that on the radio. What are you
Uh-huh.
guys doing?
Well, I want to try to get to, I mean, but now this is a thing. I'm way on probably another section of the station. So let's
Mhm.
just say, narratively speaking, Xavier is going to try to get up, dock the ship, and get off and get to the places where Kid is speaking as fast as he can without an all-out sprint and really making it obvious what he's doing. Make
Okay.
sense?
Yes. Roll me a streetwise check
Okay.
to see if you know where
I
that
can
is.
do that. All right. Roll 1d100. And my streetwise is 76. So I succeed.
Okay, you succeed. All right. Give me a second. If you move at a good pace, like not outright running, but a good pace, it's going to take you about 8 minutes to get there from where you are.
Perfect. All right.
What about everyone else?
I would like to do the same, but I would like to bring very specific items. Can I list them?
Okay. Yes, I have a question. So would this
Yes.
be like okay, we know that Kid's doing this. I'm going to go back to the ship and grab these items?
Yes.
Okay, so then we'll say you're starting from the ship. Go ahead and list off the items for me, please.
All right. I would like to bring 1 can of knockout spray. I would like to bring 2 specific jumpstart stimulant syringes. I would also like to bring a couple of BTBs, a Palm Bio unit, and a full thing of the I can't remember what the name is right now. The restraint dispenser. I would like 1 restraint dispenser.
Okay. Got it.
Yes.
All right, roll me a streetwise check, please.
Okay. So, streetwise, any penalties?
Yeah, actually, because you're not as familiar with the station, I'd say just a 10. Divided by 10.
Okay.
Because this is basically just a do you know it off the top of your... Oh, yeah, you've heard of this place. But, like, Isaac, you know the Rolls. You have not been able to go by a Frontier station without Hart going to the Rolls.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
Let me guess.
you're going
Donuts?
from the ship. So you'd be... Actually, if you're going from the ship, you'd be starting in the same location Xavier is, because he was on the ship, so 8 minutes.
Yep.
All right.
In
sounds
fact,
great.
anyone else wouldn't have to make rolls, because if you guys are together, then why would you all need to know where this place is? Just one of you is fine. Lucas and Anna... No, Anna, you're at the docking station. Lucas, what are you doing?
That is a good question.
Hmm.
I guess I had no real plans beforehand. Everyone off went on their own and their own particular things. I think you would probably be at like a gun shop.
Okay. Just at a gun shop, huh?
Just looking at guns.
Looking at guns.
Okay. Trying to see where the best place for that would be. Actually, the best place closed down. Heart's Junk. The best place actually on the station would be Flea's Market.
Okay.
All right. So they don't have an enormous selection of guns, but they do have some. They also have well, actually, no. Look at this now. They have a decent selection of guns. Tell you what, Piph.
Yeah.
I will shoot this, and Anna, I'll shoot this in just the Discord chat because Anna, you can look at this too, and
Okay.
retroactively, if you guys want to get something, you can. But yeah, they have neural sticks, vibroblades. They have pistols, a pretty decent selection, heavy guns, grenade launchers, a pretty decent selection of stuff.
Oh, they do, yeah. Wow. Well, that's what he would be doing. Other than that, I think he would probably just listen in. I guess before he really could pick out anything, he would probably try to find his way over there on his lonesome.
All right. Do you have Streetwise skill?
No.
All right. Just roll me a D100.
No.
Okay.
Lucas going on an adventure.
Yeah. Well, so Lucas doesn't know. All that means is that just Lucas doesn't know off the top of his head where this is. How would Lucas go about finding out?
Oh, he would. Let's see. He'd probably think of a direction, go that way, find out eventually that this is taking a while, and then probably ask around if anyone knows a good role place, a place to get some nice bread.
It's going to take you 22 minutes.
Nice.
Nice to get there from where you are. All right, so you're headed that direction. Anna, you're hearing all this on the radio. Unfortunately, well, no, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, I
Anna?
think time-wise, I'm not available.
Yeah, you're not available at the moment. Okay, so no, but you still would hear this on the radio. You have your radio.
I still would hear it. I just can't.
Okay. Well,
Get
so
there.
we might need to retroactive things a bit, which is fine if we have to. You would be at the docking station. No, you would be at. Oh my God, you would be with Lucas.
Yeah, I
You'd be
thought
at
about
Flea's
that.
Market.
No,
So,
I would love it if she just did not notice Lucas there.
okay, you'd hear this on the radio. So we may. This is true. We may need to retroact a little bit. Here's what I'm going to say. To change as little as possible, you didn't have to wait as long for the shipment. So we're going to say you're in the docking port. You've seen the ship. You've seen the guy. You've already talked to Xavier.
Mhm.
And you're just kind of waiting for a free terminal.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll me. Do you have a Streetwise?
Yeah.
Roll me Streetwise. Make it harder by 10. Yeah, you don't know where it is.
Where the roll shop is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you want to go about trying to find it? Ask someone for it? What do you want to do? Or do you want to wait there and try and wait for a terminal to free up?
I think I'll stay at the dockyard for now.
Okay. All right, then. So, 8 minutes. Kid, you don't know where they are. You just said the roll shop, and Gloop pulled you into the roll shop, and he points to the rolls, and he says, Beatrice says these are delicious. And then starts pulling you back out.
Kid starts reaching for a roll and then just gets yanked out. Just like, oh, okay, all right.
And Gloop will pull you into a back hallway.
are you going to? Are we? Do you not want to look like her?
He stops. Oh, right. And then in like a split second, he looks like a spitting image of Beatrice.
Can
And he
you
goes,
act like her?
Give me a second. All right. Beatrice. I can be calm and emotionless. But truly, inside, I feel like a butterfly. I just don't want to tell anyone.
Oh my god!
That's great.
I
Yes.
love him.
Great.
And he goes, okay, let's do this. And starts walking down the hallway.
Bum, 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 bum.
Mission Impossible. Kid is
Kinda.
going. Oh god. Kid is going to try and do their best imitation of Gloop imitating them
Well,
with a big
eat a bunch
smile.
of. Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, no.
The only other time Kid smiles is when she's about to or after killing something.
You guys walk down a hallway,
Mhm.
and then you take about 15, 20 steps, and you hear, you are very early. And out from the shadows steps a single man. Kid, you've never seen this person before.
Nope.
But they have they have longer black hair. It's straight black hair that's maybe a little past the ears in length.
Mhm.
Like it's just starting to grow out, and a well-trimmed, well-kept beard. They're wearing nondescript gray clothes and black boots that seem to have a shine to them. They have a pistol on their belt, and they have their arms crossed. And he goes, you know, I am not a fan when people don't show up when they're supposed to.
Oh my god. Kid, in their best imitation possible, is going to go, oh, we didn't, are we early? Oh, sorry.
Wow, that's really good. That was spot fucking on.
Gloop goes, oh, yes, we must have lost track of time. Ha, silly me, forgetful. And Vector narrows his eyes. Kid, roll me a D100, please.
Sweet Jesus, he's gonna start
Oh my
firing
God,
up.
jeez. Get a
Maybe.
1. For the love of God, get a 1. 9.
my
Vector narrows his eyes and he goes, so you're jumpy too. My message wasn't exactly the friendliest. Here's the problem, Beatrice. You arrived early. Now, I like to arrive early to stake out a position and sit set up. Do you have the items for me? I'm leaving Kid more for a first responder here. Because Kid's not the
dear
NPC.
Jesus. All right. Give me a minute. I'm still getting over the fact that this is working so far.
I understand.
Like, this is the perfect example of, well, what's the next step? I didn't think I'd get this far in the plan.
First things first, do me a favor.
Mhm.
Roll me a d20, please.
Oh, Jesus. Is this how many minions he has in the background?
Yes, yeah. That's
Okay.
definitely.
Kid, with your senses, and I'm assuming like right now you are hyper alert.
Oh God, yes.
With your
They're
senses, despite the situation you're in, you're fairly certain you don't hear anyone else around here.
huh. Like, not even like commerce going on, or just like in general, like in
I mean,
this...
within like, so Kid's intelligent. Kid's designed to think a certain way tactically. You don't hear any other people within range of what you would typically consider
Ambushing territory.
ambush, backup, etc. No one nearby. So they're either very well hidden or this guy's alone.
Huh. All right. How early are we to this?
Like 2.5
Pretty
hours.
damn early.
Yeah.
You're about 2 hours early. No, about 2 hours and 10 minutes early. Yeah.
Shit, yeah. Well, that's good because if it was just like 20 minutes early, then that would be a lot more awkward. Oh god. Kid's gonna kind of stumble. Definitely planned nervousness. Totally. Just we were gonna bring it, but we thought it better to scope everything out, make sure that everything was good, because we want to make sure that this goes down as smoothly as possible. Yeah, and so we were gonna bring it when it was actually time, but you're here now. So yeah.
Beatrice / Gloop goes, Gloop, let me handle this. And then like gives you this very brief, like really apologetic face. And then looks at Vector and goes, everything Gloop said. Vector just kind of like closes his eyes and begins chuckling, and he goes, I am sometimes amazed by the coincidences of the universe. We both happen to scout out our place at the exact same time, which means you've caught me unprepared. However, because this is unexpected and you don't have the items on you and I don't have all the money with me, and he kind of pauses. It seems things are very strange. I'm low-key and nothing's wrong, and all of a sudden the head honcho of this station starts poking into my affairs. I don't like that. And I'm willing to believe that this is a coincidence, but my careful nature screams to be just that. So how about this, Beatrice? You did a good job for me. I don't like to burn bridges. Call this deal off. But for your efforts, I'll give you 10 million. Then we both walk away, and I'll call you if I need you again. Does that work for you? And Gloop just looks at you very confused, like not sure how to answer.
At what point is how far away is Xavier from this location?
Oh,
Or
I mean,
anybody else?
yeah, it's been like 4 minutes. You're halfway there. But you can all hear this on the radio.
Xavier's gonna say, stall him, stall him, stall him. Negotiate. Ask him why he's willing to give it up. Why he can't wait 2 hours.
All right, yeah. Kid's gonna kind of burst out a little bit, just like, well, are you okay? Like, is something wrong? I'm sorry. And they're gonna apologize with a glance at Gloop Beatrice.
Beatrice nods to you, looks to Vector. Is everything okay? Is anything wrong? And Vector just kind of glances and goes, yes, everything is wrong. I like it when things go as planned, as expected. I am very aggravated when things don't, and I have lived as long as I have by being very careful. You and I happening to be at this place at this time, well, it makes me very uncomfortable.
It makes you uncomfortable that we were being prepared? I thought we were on the same side.
No one is on the same side. That's just an illusion. And he goes, look, as I said, you've done me good work in the past. I'd rather not lose you as an asset. But things are becoming very strange, and I don't like that. So, do you take my offer?
Wait. Typing noises. There we go.
Negotiate the price. All right. Kid's gonna again do like the burst out and then apologize, but just kind of like, well, what about price? I mean, that's we worked really hard to get those things from the museum, and that's not very much for our hard work. Sorry. There were butter trolls.
All right.
There were butter trolls, Vector. There were butter trolls.
I'm gonna have to. God, rolls within rolls. Give me a second. I'm rolling for
And
Gloop.
they just fucked everything up.
Who else is running to this location? Is Xavier the closest? No, Isaac is too, right?
But Isaac's with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're both
good.
together.
Oh, thank God Isaac's here. Xavier's going to be very cool because he's like, if I have to raise my gun at this guy, I am fucked. He's
Oh,
going to
boy.
kick my ass.
All right,
Well,
poor
you got
Gloop.
kid.
All right, so Gloop looks at Kid and then goes, right, price, not good enough. 80 million. And then he looks at Kid like, huh?
I love that the two people with the least amount of negotiating and financial knowledge are the ones that have to do this.
But you know
And-
what? It's working. My 5% shot is working.
Oh boy. And hang on, I'm gonna make one more roll because I don't like rolling until Oblivion, but okay. Vector says, okay, I'm not amused. You don't want my offer? Fine. I'm trying to be agreeable here. You want to just call it quits? I'm fine with that. If you have another idea, speak your mind now.
Xavier is going to say. Xavier, okay, so I'm going to just instead of typing it, Xavier's going to say on the radio, we're almost there. Just say, we'll accept it. But ask him, is it going to be in credits or are you going to ensure that these funds aren't traceable? Just keep talking for a little while longer. What? Can you not hear me?
No, he
No,
can hear you. He
we
can
can
hear
hear
you.
No, I can hear you.
Burn made it funny.
Marry me.
Oh,
I'm
fair.
sorry.
Fine, okay.
So Xavier says that Kid.
Uh-huh. I mean, we're not turning down the money. Like we're okay with the money. Just like, yeah, sure. That seems like enough, right, Beatrice? Sorry. I mean, if it's okay with you.
Yes, I'm sorry. Did I say 80 million? I meant 10 million. It's fine. Right? Right. And Vector's just looking back and forth between you two, and he's like, okay, what are you playing at here?
The dream team. Oh boy. Nothing. Why would we be playing? We're not even at the park.
All right, now it's all going in there. Thank God we're almost there.
I have a question for you, Xavier and Isaac.
Uh-huh.
Would you have
Yeah.
quickened your pace at all?
Oh
Of
yeah,
course! Yes,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
Full
the
sprint.
second, like he's like, the second he said like, listen, you could take the job or not. You can hear the impatience in his voice, and that's where I'm like, I don't care if I'm causing a scene. Isaac, let's go, and I'm sprinting.
Got it. So you guys
Running,
are probably
running.
like more like 15 seconds away now.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So Vector goes, all right, Gloop, change form.
Why? I like this form.
Now. And he puts a hand on his pistol. And hang on, give me a second.
There's no one we get in.
Okay, Gloop doesn't change form.
He does.
Oh,
or he
God.
doesn't?
Does not. He
Oh,
he holds it together.
Okay. Kid would frown and say, well, what form do you want?
I don't care. And this is right when Xavier and Isaac arrive.
Whew!
Yeah, we round the corner.
Xavier's gonna be around the other corner with his pistol drawn.
Hands up, motherfucker!
Hello,
Vector
old
pulls
friend.
his pistol out.
Oh no! Don't! You're outnumbered. Let's talk. Your life could be worth something still, and I don't mean to paw.
Vector,
If we want to shoot you, we shoot you right now. So come on, be smart. Good job.
Okay, so let me describe several things that are
Okay.
Vector has his gun out, probably pointed at Isaac. Isaac, yes.
Oh,
get a
yeah.
Plus first.
He's pointing it at Isaac. Okay.
Mhm.
Like usual, I have my contacts in. Zooming feature. Can I see the safety on his gun?
Yeah, I'd say you could. It's off.
I'd like
Are
to
you-
telekinesis it on.
No, wait, no, we're not doing
Okay.
action.
When I can, I'd like to
Got
do
it.
that.
We're at like we're at a Mexican standoff right now.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So let me
You're
describe
setting
the scene,
up the scene. Yeah.
and then I'll
Yeah, go for it. Sorry.
so-
I just wanted to make
I
sure
understand.
that was clear.
I'm with you. He has his gun pointed at Isaac. He's staring at Xavier. He has this look of utter recognition and confusion on his face. Gloop says, thank you? And looks very confused and drops Beatrice accent and everything. Just says it normal voice, very
boy.
confused. And at this point, if you'd like to take an action, you
Yeah.
can.
Okay, just to make sure the safety is off, correct?
Correct. Yeah, he's not a novice.
All right, switch it on.
All right.
Click. I'll burn the ISP.
Okay. Give me a second here. Okay. Vector looks at Xavier, looks at Isaac, looks back at Xavier, gives kind of a smirk and says, well, this is quite an interesting situation we find ourselves in, isn't it? And Isaac, because you can see very clearly, obviously, his finger is not on the trigger, but his thumb just calmly slides the safety back off and holds it there.
Okay.
And he says, it's been a while, hasn't it?
It has. And much like last time, here we are at a standstill, with you just about to get away. But I don't see any giant-ass missile this time around. Instead, we got the weapons pointed at you. And yeah, you're gonna get a shot off at my friend, but he's tough as shit. You'll go down, so... Now it's last time you did the talking. This time, we're gonna do the talking, okay? First and foremost, says Xavier, this is 100%, no matter what, a robbery. Kid, search his pockets, take absolutely everything.
Kid's gonna start walking up unless he's gonna try and blow their face off.
Vector will stare at Xavier and he'll say, "All right. Think you know me well enough by now to know that I'm a survivor. One wrong move and your friend goes down before you get me."
Now,
I would
and
like
I
to.
hope-
I would like to start slowly walking towards him.
Well, that might be a wrong move.
Okay, but all right. So, Kid, you're walking towards him. Isaac, you're walking towards him. Vector
Yes.
will look to Kid and say, "Careful with the goods, love." And then he'll look to Isaac and he'll say, "You stop at 10 feet, or I pull the trigger, and this ends in a way none of us want."
While he's looking at Isaac, Kid would like to floop.
Oh God! Okay. Kid floops, and Vector. Oh boy. Vector would just look a little. Well, I mean, I hate
Yeah.
keeping rolling dice, but this is like a how would he react kind of thing to this. How would he keep it together? No, he would not.
We're gonna enter combat. Time to kick Vector's ass.
Yep.
Real quick, how far away were we from him? In the
Oh,
first
you were
place?
like 5 feet from him.
Oh shit, dude. Yeah.
All right.
Um,
No, you're not going to enter combat.
Oh,
The
okay.
second kid floops. Vector lets the gun roll in his trigger finger and says, "Okay, all right, fine." And he kind of looks up and he goes, "I can't die, not yet. I commend you. I don't know if this is revenge or my fates are just fucked right now. But well done." And he'll throw his gun on the ground.
I would like to telekinesis it to Isaac's hand and hold it out, pointed at him.
Sure. And he'll go, "So, where'd your friend go? I assume they had something nasty in store."
They do that from time to time.
Oh.
Can it be like at that moment? Because Kid was planning on flooping on top of him.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
at that moment,
that's what they had in store.
yeah.
So, Kid lands on top of Vector and he goes, "Ah!" What are you doing, Kid?
They just land on top of him and just start like wrestling him, just like, "Give up!"
I wasn't fighting!
You. They look over and see his gun in Isaac's hand and goes, "Oh, good. 'Cause you would have lost."
Yeah, you gotta remember that. I mean, you're gone for like a second or two when you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Vector goes, "I know I would have lost. That's why I'm not fighting."
You're
What
smart.
even are you?
What did you say?
What
Who are
even are you?
Kid. And they hop off of him and just kind of give him a look like, and walk back
All right.
over to them.
Vector, I gotta ask before we get further into this. You bemoaned fate and all that other crap. In fact, I thought we saw the last of you a couple years back. But why did you have to come back to Frontier Station? Out of all the places and all the 3 galaxies, you had to end up here? You're cursing fate now, but you were tempting fate for this to happen.
Kind of grins. "I'd tell you the truth, but you wouldn't believe it."
Well, try me. Oh, tell you what. I'll tell you something that you don't think you'll believe, and then you tell me something you don't think I'll believe. I'll start. We're not working for Paw. Like we were before to take down that pirate ring. We're completely freelance now, you know. and we just found this golden opportunity to make a quick 100 million credits. And I'm very disappointed that you don't have it on you, Vector, but in fact, I'm extremely happy that you're here. So, 50-50 glass.
Fair enough. I'm here because I have new employers. New employers from a dimension that I'm quite certain you've never been to. Turns out there's a war coming, and I picked a side. And I needed artifacts from a certain place to help out in this war. And those artifacts happen to be on Noble Station. And well, if you're going to be doing business anywhere in the area, Frontier's the place to do it.
Oh.
Okay, quick question. Are you familiar with Zebron, or let me look at my notes real quick. Simmons.
Zebra what now?
Okay, do you know a man named Simmons?
In grade school, I think. Hated that guy.
Okay.
So,
So,
he'll look up at kid who's on top of him. Rifle through my pockets, you small furry thing. Just watch
no,
those
sorry.
claws.
They already dropped to the ground, but
Okay,
yes, they will
yeah.
absolutely rifle through his pockets.
And you find the pistol that is now in Isaac's hand. You see the holster for it.
Mm-hmm.
You see you have you see as you're going through it and as you're close by, you see his ear has a radio piece fairly similar to yours, and one singular credit chip.
All
that
right.
you can look
when
at.
they spot that, they're gonna start pulling him by the shirt down towards them.
He couldn't resist you if he wanted to. You're a supernatural strength.
I mean, it depends on whether or not he wants his shirt to tear.
Yeah, he'll
That's all.
go down. He's being very cooperative right now.
He's gonna pull out the comm and say, "Who does this connect to?"
My men who well, would you believe me if I told you they were right around the corner?
no, because we would have run into them.
Yeah, thought so.
Hmm.
They heard. They're coming. Let's make this quick.
Put up early. Okay.
So, I know how this goes. I've done it a few times.
How much is your life worth? Because right now,
I heard you in front of me, but you stopped.
yeah, I said I'm asking Isaac to check the Krebs chip to see
Oh.
what's on it.
Oh,
Got it.
sorry. I'll check that. How much is on it?
10 million credits.
10 mil.
10 million credits isn't bad for a few minutes worth, but well, you tell us, Vector. All right? I don't care if it's information, I don't care if it's the whereabout of the, Kalarnian Kingdom's crown jewels, but you need to now incentivize us not to haul you right into Paw, because even though we don't work for him, he's still an old friend, and I'm sure he's very interested in you, and he would reward us quite a bit. Let's see if you can up that. I'm all ears, and I give you my word, as good as it is, that if you do give us either information or money or locations or whatever, or technology that I've deemed worth it, we will let you go on with your stupid, pathetic life. Because I'll call our previous standoff and your attempt to kill us even.
Well, how could I refuse such a generous offer?
Yeah, I know.
But in order to keep my end of the deal, I need a little bit more information on to what you'd like to know.
Well, let's start with the people that you work for and the importance of these artifacts.
Yes. Well, have you ever heard of devils?
Yeah, we actually came across one not too long ago.
Oh, have you? Fun, aren't they? Well, turns out they've been embroiled in a conflict with demons for, well, to hear them tell it time immemorial, they really don't like each other. And up until now, it's been spats and skirmishes and backroom dealings, but it looks like there's a war coming. The Devils, being the way they are, they like to play things behind the scenes, manipulate people, get agents, things of that nature. Well, I make one hell of an agent.
Mm-hmm. And their interest in these artifacts are...
Well, they obviously don't tell me their plans, but I don't like going into work for people without knowing everything I can. These artifacts that I was making a deal for come from a planet called Palladium.
Mhm.
It's a primitive stinkhole, from what I hear, but it does have one thing of interest: a permanent rift that happens to go in between the realm of the Devils and the realm of the Devils. And I happen to know that these items that I'm acquiring are fairly powerful in the magic realm. So, put two and two together. Devils want items from this world with power. War is starting to build up. My guess would be whatever goes down is going to go down there.
How are they going to compensate you? I imagine a person of your skills aren't cheap. So why did you decide to go work for them?
Credits, Xavier. No, wait, hang on. He wouldn't know Xavier's name. What would he
No,
know you by? Would he know-
Amston the Shark.
Amston the Shark. That's right. Thank you. Sorry, I want to be. I don't want to start throwing things
No
out he doesn't know. He'd look at you and he'd go, "Same thing that drives both of us, Amston. Credits, lots of credits."
You got any more of those credits stashed around here at for quick transference?
You were supposed to have 100 million.
I was going to have
Couple
100
hours.
million in a couple hours at our meeting. I don't just carry around that kind of cash on me.
I know. So where were you going to get it? Vector.
Direct transfer from my account to Beatrice's.
So why don't you still do that?
Because if I spend the Devils' money without giving them their items, you might as well just shoot me now. I would love to live, but I'd rather take your bullet than what they have in store.
Okay. Well, so if you told us a little bit about these devils, you can't give us any more money. You're not selling yourself very well, Vector. I'll give you a moment or two to think what you could give a couple of run-bound muggers for your life, because we're not going to kill you, even though in all fairness, I should let Isaac put a bullet in between your eyes. But we'll drag your sorry hide over to Paul. And you don't want that.
Give me a second while I consider. This is Squee talking, not.
No problem.
Victor.
I mean, if you got a ship, we'll take your ship. If you got some secrets. Secrets are so fun.
He kind of
Amston
sighs.
and for everyone.
He kind of sighs and he goes, "Fine. Can I have that radio back for a moment? I'll ask my men to leave the ship. Consider it yours."
Okay, but we want to hear those exact words. We want you to leave the ship.
Ah, crap, he cut out.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Inferno, buddy?
So the second you say any sort of code word or anything that sounds hinky, Isaac is going to put a bullet inside your head. So speak extremely carefully. Your life depends on it.
He looks between Xavier and Isaac. He goes, "Fair enough," and he'll hold his hand out for the radio. Kid, do you give it to him?
Oh, I thought it was. I thought Isaac, or no, Isaac had something else. Yeah,
Isaac has
Kid
the credit
will-
chip.
Kid will hand it back.
All right. He'll put it in his ear. And he'll say, "Pack. Ship's compromised. Pa knows about it. Yeah. Get everyone off there. Just leave it. We'll start over from scratch. Just get everyone out and safe. No contact. Let them have it. There's nothing on there incriminating." Yes, kid?
Kid is listening very hard. Can they hear what's going on the other end?
Oh. Yeah.
And they're also
I
very
think you would.
close.
Yeah, you would. So okay, so I'll show you both into the conversation. It's tack. Pause onto the ship. And he goes, you hear faintly on the other side, "Crap. All right, what do you want us to do, boss?" And then that's when he says, "Get everyone off the ship and get them out and safe." And then you'll hear on the other side, "Do you want us to take the equipment?" "No, leave it. Let them have it. There's nothing incriminating there. Just get everyone out of there." "As you say, boss." And then the radio just clicks off. And then he hands it back to Kid and he goes, "No code words. I value my life more than to try and pull a con when the odds aren't in my favor."
You're smart. So this is what we're going to do, because we can't just slowly back away like you see in all those Hollow movies. Because the second you'll get on the radio and tell your friends to get on the ship, etc., etc., etc. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to knock you out but not for very long, right? Only for about 30 minutes or so. Enough for us to leave, take your ship, and go on wherever we need to go. You're going to stay here unconscious. No one's going to find you. And it's going to be live and let live. Okay?
You say this as if I have a choice.
Good point. Isaac?
Seems fine.
Vector will look at Isaac and say, "No, I think he wants you to knock me out now."
Oh, okay. Isaac is going to take his gun and put it in one of his empty holsters. Because he's keeping this gun now.
Uh-huh.
His gun.
Reach into his jacket and take out a little can. He might recognize it because it probably says a big, huge KO on the side of the can.
Yeah, easy
Like
to
a
see.
cartoon.
Mhm.
He'll actually see it and he'll go, "Well, at least it's not violent. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Professional
He's-
courtesy."
Okay, Anna.
Isaac is just gonna spray it in his face, and it's up to
Falls
Kid.
over like a sack of potatoes.
It's up to Kid whether or not Kid grabs him or not, because Isaac's not gonna break his landing.
All right. And Xavier's going to get over, holster his thing, give a bit of a smirk, and say, "Give him another dose, Isaac. Let's make sure he's out for a good and long time."
You sure?
And then Xavier is going to look over to Kid and
Mhm.
point at him and say, "That man, through the sheer technology of our shields, almost murdered us. You know what we do to people like that, Kid? We fuck them." And then Xavier's going to get on the radio to Pa and be like, "Boop, boop, 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 boop. Pa, please."
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, like as you were saying fuck them, Kid was going to say be diplomat. Oh, no, or that.
So here's the thing. I had a feeling that's what we were gonna do, but I wasn't too sure. So he's just going to use a full body restraint from the restraint dispenser. Make sure to use one more charge from the KO spray.
Okay.
And just in case that there would be any side effects or anything, give him a BTB, a blood tissue builder. Just in case there was any bad side effects. And then pick him up so that we can deliver him to Pa?
No. Xavier says,
No, let Pa get
Yeah.
him.
let Paul get him, because this is plausible deniability, right?
Oh, okay.
We're going to leave him where he was, right? But he'll never know for sure if we notified Paul or if they just came across him, right? So he'll hate our guts regardless. But this is going to be quite the bow in his cap, he says as he's waiting to get a hold of Paul.
Yeah.
While this is happening, what's Gloop look like?
Gloop is mortified. The face of Beatrice is just like, oh, Beatrice is not going to like this. She is going to be so mad at us.
Gloop. I'm going to be on Beatrice's ship the entire time. I promise, and I know this is a real promise because that man tried to kill us, but you never tried to kill us. So this is a real promise, all right? I will let her know. I'll let her know everything, and I'll try to make it right by her.
He looks at you and he goes, you're going to be on the ship with her?
Yeah.
By yourself?
Yeah, I guess so.
He walks over, and Beatrice is like a little taller than Xavier, so puts a hand on your shoulder. Good luck.
Okay.
Oh my
Now
God.
Xavier, for the first time in a long time, regrets the decision he made. At least with the person swap.
We can
Shut
speed
up,
things.
Anna.
We can speed things up a little bit. You're
Sure,
able
yeah,
to
let's do
contact Pa. He's able to send men to go secure a vector. Though he says that he's going to put him in an interrogation room, see what he can find out of him. And do you tell him about the ship or anything? Or do you just tell him? Or let me put it this way: what are you What are you telling Pa?
I'm telling them what we managed to capture and find Vector, and he's all yours. We believe that he's a part of a team, and his men are probably still on Frontier Station. But we managed to trap the head guy, so we don't know the rest of his team, except for his security to do so. And Xavier will say, Pa, I'm sure there's a reward for this, but how about we do each other a favor? How about I give you Vector without asking for any sort of reward or anything else? And there's a certain ship in the dockyards that we would like registered in our name. Can you do that for us?
He starts to answer and he goes, Vector ship?
Yes. If you want, you can have your men search it first and take whatever you think is of interest. But we would like the bulk of the ship, please.
I was going to offer the same terms. Consider it done.
Beautiful.
Yay.
So now it's squeaky clean. And now I've done enough talking. Poor Anna's been having that plus on for a while. So
Yeah.
shut up.
So that's what I was going to say. Narratively, they do that. You do that. I'll even
Sweet.
say, well, let's go to Anna first. Yes, Anna. Sorry for the
What?
wait.
Can she hear any of this over the radio?
Oh, absolutely. Kids' mom has been on
Never
this
stopped-
entire
yeah,
time.
Yeah, kid never stopped transmitting.
No.
That she's going to be watching the ship that she found just to see if she was right or wrong.
Yeah. So 6 men leave the ship one at a time, all going in different directions.
Just the tiniest of like happy fist pump.
Gotcha.
Anna, while you're waiting, you do hear, while that's happening, you do hear like 2 dock hands talking off on the side. Oh man, have you ever been to Dock 6? Oh, that's where the paranormal activity was, right?
Oh,
Those
Oh my
crates and
God.
crazy things. Yeah, well, it's almost like a tourist attraction now. I'm going to go take my girl over to go see it the other day.
Don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Mm-mm.
So after Xavier's done talking to Pa, she's gonna come on the radio and go, okay, who's getting first shot at the ship?
Oh. Well, I figured Paw's crew would. But if you want to sneak on there first and make sure we get all the good stuff, I'm not going to say no.
I mean, I'm here.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Oh,
apparently that's
shit.
right.
Yeah. Go through. Yeah, get on the ship and see if you can't, I don't know, case it out a bit, I guess.
Okay.
All right. You go on the ship. Anna, just roll me a D100. Just kind of like a search type thing. All right. You see the package that was delivered, which, like I said before, has an EVA suit, some of the whole repair kit, and some other stuff. And I'll make an actual list for you of everything that's there. But I'm giving you the highlights now to see if there's anything you want to take at the moment. And other than the package, the ship is fairly barren. It has rations. It has 2 more EVA suits. It has a few small arms, which I'll get you a list for those later. But nothing in the way of that. You take a look at the computer. Roll me 2 things, please. Computer operations and then computer hacking.
Okay. This would be operations, which is 39.
39? You
60,
succeed by 39. Okay,
yeah.
all right. And then roll me the hacking.
No.
Okay. So you operate the computer. You find that all the navigation logs have been wiped. In fact, the computer is set to auto wipe navigation logs the second it arrives at a destination. There is no information really of any kind other than the subroutines needed to fly the ship. You've seen this kind of setup before. This is a well-done smuggler setup. This is the kind of ship that, for just kind of this purpose, if it was captured, it will not incriminate. But you try and like dig deeper into the system, you don't find much of value.
I will never succeed at hacking. Because that will be great. Is there any bottles of booze?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Priorities, Anna.
Yeah, there would be. There'd be a few. Wine. No hard liquor, just wine.
Wine.
Classy
Space
motherfuckers.
elves? They're either space elves or space French.
Well, and you find it in what looks like the captain's quarters.
Don't want to be on his ship. Jeez.
And that's it.
Yep. Probably, unless there's something on that list, for now, she's just going to take the bottom line and be like, eh.
I'll say there's nothing on the list that Paw's men would confiscate from the ship. So what I'll do is over the next week, I'll actually put together like a list of what you gained, so that you guys have that. But for the sake of the argument, there's nothing that Paw's men find that they confiscate from it.
Sweet.
And we
I mean,
have
the
a
ship's
backup
nice.
ship. Do-do-do-do-do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the best thing. We either have a new ship or no, wait. Our old ship has a dimensional thing within the thing. Let's not do that. But we either have a second ship or we can sell it for money and use that to upgrade our current ship. Regardless, we got ourselves a nice big payday.
Isn't this like the second ship that you've gotten from the sky?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you got an engine, the famous Leviathan engine.
Lucitan, not Leviathan.
Lucitan. So yes, it's the second piece of hardware you've gotten from him. That's for sure.
And the best thing is that he's still alive, so he'll still. So the only thing that we're gonna pay for it is that Xavier might literally get beat up. We're telling the good news, and I don't think anyone's gonna mind that Xavier gets beat up, other than Xavier.
Yeah, I mean, Vector is very much a survivor and not the kind of guy that's gonna push his luck in a 3-on-1 fight.
Yeah.
So
What's up, Anna?
That was great.
Is there any way we Anna can get, or through Paw, one of the bottles of wine and maybe some little trinket from the captain's room into his cell for when he wakes up, or just in general?
yes, that
Send
is
this over
definitely
to him.
doable.
Oh, that's clever, Anna.
So we'll say there is a small. You know what? A small necklace that's like a locket. Inside the locket, there is a picture of a looks like a young wolfen girl or boy. Hard to tell.
All the fur.
Yeah. So racist. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Damn.
True.
Next, you're gonna
Yeah.
say all kids look alike. God.
But yeah, so that can be left in the cell for him.
I feel bad.
Oh.
And then what does Lucas do during all of
Oh
this?
Lucas, yeah. So that is true. You
Lucas.
you would arrive right about. Actually, you would arrive right about the time Posman to arrive to get Vector.
Sorry. I'm just imagining this. If this was a movie or TV show, like the first 3 minutes is Lucas, and then the last 3 minutes is him being like, "And I'll take that gun." Roll credits.
No, he's looking for the place. It's just taking him
is he?
22 minutes to get there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Lucas?
Muted.
Piph, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Piffers.
Lucas,
Hey,
no.
buddy.
You guys are so kind. I was thinking that like Lucas would like at the end of the big conversation finally like ties them up and whatnot. And, like everyone's like settled down and Lucas goes around the corner. Aha!
Oh, too late. Oh, wait. Xavier says he runs over to Lucas. Tell me you still have that orb.
He thinks for a minute, starts digging around in his bag. No, not that.
Oh, God.
No more blue than that one.
Uh-huh. Wait, you have more than one orb?
Yeah. Trying to think where I put the orb.
Kid looks at Xavier.
Like, there's not a lot of places, Lucas. That thing was pretty big.
Ooh. Hold on.
Should we turn around and close our eyes?
Yeah.
Okay. Xavier says. He's like, if this gets us the orb, I'll play along.
Over the radio, and it's like, is he doing another strip tease? Strip
No.
tease.
Wait, another one? How many has he done?
He paid for my boots somehow.
What?
Oh, you weren't there.
Yeah, you weren't there.
Oh my god.
This is when I was away. Oh.
You were AFK.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. So, couple of things I want to try and get to because we have to end the session. What, 10 minutes, Burn?
Let's
Burn!
just say yes.
Yes.
Okay.
10 minutes.
So,
I've
a
been
couple of
putting
things-
on shirts and stuff already. To
Sure.
try
A
and-
couple of things I want to do so that you guys have some time in the off week to think about things. If you guys don't mind, narratively speaking, next week I will give you guys the type of ship it is, the market value, et cetera, plus what you find in it. Anything else that you guys request of that nature. I do want to have a quick conversation with one of the NPCs because it's important in preparing for what you guys want to do next. So,
Is it Beatrice?
no,
Glue?
no, I'm
Is
gonna
it
save
glue?
that. I'm gonna save that for next week because I don't want to rush that.
Oh, yeah. I gotta have the silver tongue out.
So we'll just say, once everything's gotten together, Cathor's going to find you guys, and he's
Oh.
going to be like, "Well, looks like you guys have been quite busy.
Mm-hmm.
I hear we have a new ship."
We do?
Yeah. Wait, don't tell me you're gonna bugger off, right?
No, no, most certainly. I am interested in our next destination. When Xavier mentioned that we were going to be traveling back to his daughter's home planet, this Palladium, I decided to do some research into it, and it is fascinating and a little worrying. It is a separate dimension, difficult to get to, possible through a ship, but we won't be able to take a ship there. The most interesting thing I've noticed is the atmosphere is too big. Your daughter, she must be human, yes?
She is.
Right. Well, given the thickness of the atmosphere on Palladium, she should be crushed. The volume of gases there would have an air pressure far beyond what a human could stand. It's interesting. The only conclusion I can come to, and this is why I'm talking to you, is that air must be far more, gases in general must be far more compressible on that planet, compressed to much higher degrees before they start giving resistance, which means that, given my calculations, being on that planet in this condition would feel similar to what we're used to, but it has very bad implications for things like, and he'll look at Isaac, like your guns, my boy.
What's wrong with my guns?
Well,
Guns are dead.
when you pull a
My
trigger,
guns are dead.
No, when you pull a trigger, the black powder inside your bullet casing ignites and expands in gases, and that expansion of gases propels your bullet forward. Well, if the gases are far more compressible, that propulsion will be more like a plop than a shoot.
Oh.
Same thing for plasma weapons, considering that they are basically just targeted projections of superheated gases.
Yes, and lasers would very likely veer off in different directions and be
Well,
very, very unsafe.
No, there's a small other issue with that one, which is a larger concern of ours. It would also seem that electricity does not function properly on this planet. Another magical effect that I am afraid makes this planet very troublesome.
What do you mean by
Electrical-
electricity?
I mean, most things that use electricity, energy clips, weapons that function off of it, power armor, body armors, equipment, computer systems, and most unfortunately, I'm afraid, Heart's arms, and maybe even Cyber 6 himself would have quite a deal of difficulty on that planet. Not
Well,
to
you may
mention,
be
he says, not to mention our ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Anna.
Well, leaving it off on Hard and Cyber makes me asking about my Zapper stuff a little insensitive now.
Ah, yes. Well, the research is unclear, given that this is magical properties, but it seems organic beings are not affected. If they were, no one would live there. As you all know, we all have electricity coursing through our nervous system. So it seems to be organics are not as affected by
Affected.
this.
But if I do my aura,
It might have interesting effects. I would be fascinated to see you do it.
So you're telling me I'm either a robot or I can shoot lightning?
No.
No, what he's saying.
no, I
is
shoot
that-
lightning.
Ugh.
Oh, I see. No, Lucas, the electricity in our bodies is minuscule. It is simply how our brain communicates to our nerves. You wouldn't be able to manipulate it like that.
You were trying to say something, Xavier?
Oh, just that it makes complete sense. When I was initially hired 15 years ago to go on to Palladium, I had to take my little ship over to Center because I wouldn't be able to land on the surface itself. So, and I was advised that it was a low-tech, high-magic environment and not to bother, try to even smuggle on a gun because it would be useless. I assumed it was because the locals would react violently and it would blow my cover, but it looks like it just wouldn't have worked, which would have been interesting, he says.
Mhm.
You don't want to go down angry orcs with giant blades. You pull out your weapon, all you hear is a click or a poof, and then you're, dead. So, yeah, we're not going to be able to travel directly to Palladium. We'll have to hitch a ride through some sort of portal, and we know the best place that has portals is Center. And we can drop off our gift to
Yeah,
our
that sounds
friends,
perfect.
It might also be advisable to get perhaps weapons or equipment that would be usable. My rapture would be more than adequate, of course, and your magic, he'll point to Lucas, should work perfectly fine, though the books do state the strength of them seems to be quite a bit less than what you may be used to.
The books? What books?
Oh, the books I acquired on the planet itself. It has many travelers there,
Oh,
which
okay.
I thought was strange in of itself. If we've traveled there, why haven't we uplifted them, so to speak? And it would seem because the magic there, it defies the laws of physics itself.
Oh, that would do it. Okie dokie.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm finding the session there. I wanted to give you guys a week to know that and consider that, so that if you wanted to make purchases towards such a thing. And out of game terms, basically what this means is that most high-tech devices and I'm going to run by these rules so that if you guys find a loophole, you can use the loophole. Anything that runs off of electricity, anything that requires the compression of gases, so bullets, plasma, anything of that nature, are going to fizzle and not work correctly.
What
Anna,
about farts?
farts would work just fine. Anna, you're just going to have to
Great.
go there and find out.
Yes.
What about
I-
farts? Way to go, Piph.
All right. I would be very interested to see at the beginning of next session how much EXP I can get. Because I have an idea.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I may want to do something either at center or here before we go.
All right. I will make sure to get XP to you guys early then. I did get it to you last week, right? Like at the last second, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
You did.
So I'll try and make sure to get XP to you at least a day or two before the session, so that you know whether or not that'll work, whatever you have planned. But yeah, so electronic devices, and so a couple of things to note. This means that you can wear your body armor, but you won't be able to have it environmentally enclosed because those systems require electricity. Power armor doesn't really work because while it is quote unquote nuclearly powered, what that really means is they use nuclear reaction to power electricity, to generate electricity.
Yeah,
to power the
exactly.
system. So yeah, those would not work. And if you guys have any
my-
questions over the course of the week, you can ask me. So
Yeah. I'll tell you a couple things. My buddies are already on his way. To
Yeah.
pick me up. So we'll end that here. We'll see you guys next week. Don't forget we also have riffs. This time it's
Saturday.
going to
this
be
Saturday.
Yeah,
Should be around
Saturday
the same
instead of
start
Sunday.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will see you then. Bye bye.
Take care.
Night.